completely top secret, but I mean, it still really is. Like, like there's a reason why Israeli people are going into Iran and killing nuclear scientists specifically, right? Like, this is actually a pretty specialized and like kind of uniquely important geopolitically domain of knowledge. And like, it's not just on YouTube. You know what I mean? You can't just like get it in an
Mm.
easy way. It's like super specialized and like even
You.
applying it, you have to have like really specialized machines. Like the
Mhm.
machines to even like do anything with this knowledge are like super complicated. Like I think like that's my sense of it at least. But
Mhm.
there's like so much spying and espionage and like secrecy involved in like nuclear science. It's like a really important thing. But yeah, like I think that's a big reason why like a lot of the scientific communications bullshit though. Like I think like a lot of it is like again, it's not meant to be. It's like to get people who are like science. It's like you're like listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about how like big the universe is and like black holes, and
Uh-huh.
then like you go to get like a physics degree and like you're helping like design like infrared scanning for like a weapons company. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're not like you're not really being told. I think like what physics knowledge gets you as like a job in the world. And I think that's like intentional. I think it's like intentional to like kind of be like, hey kids, like, whoa, like stars and stuff. And then it's like you're actually algorithms actually, and like for classifying people and like objects.
Tell me
And
about the
like, you know what I mean?
algorithms.
Like, what?
Tell me about the algorithms. That what algorithms are you talking
I mean,
about?
that's another thing is that like there's so much knowledge about it, like algorithms. It's like highly specialized and secretive, like like cryptography and like the deciphering of codes and like like I've always thought it was funny that there's kind of like a like because Call of Duty is like supposed to be kind of a military recruitment like thing in America. It's kind of like supposed to be that at least a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and so it has to have like all these military elements to it. And there is kind of like a cryptography element with zombies. It's kind of funny,
Mhm.
like to think about it that way with the ciphers and stuff like that. But that like decoding process, like since I mean, for thousands of years, like communications and encryption has been like the basis of like statecraft and spying and surveillance and stuff like that. But it's like it's only more true now. Like a big scandal back in 2013 was that the NSA had like backdoored like RSA 256-bit encryption, and like they had like a secret key to like an encryption standard, and they could just fucking get in whenever they wanted. And like
That's not
so they
good.
had like helped design an encryption standard, and so they had like put these secret undocumented behaviors in it. And like this is the case in like a lot of CPUs too. Like there's a thing inside CPUs,
Mhm.
basically every Intel CPU called the Intel Management Engine. That's like a secondary computer that kind of overrides all functions within your computer, and it has access to like everything at like a kernel level always. Even
Oh,
like
I've
if
heard
the
about
power's
this.
off, it has more
Yeah.
access to power than like your CPU does. And it's like what it does is basically not clear. And why it's there, well, it just kind of went there. And like AMD has like also had it showed up at the same time in like 2008, and it's just like it's just hit there. Not very clear why, but there have been instances, and it seems like certain like memory overflow leaks come from kind of getting onto its permissions and using its permissions to get access to like parts of the computer. So like it's like super powerful, whatever it is that's going on there. And like so there's all these weird things in systems that are like clearly implanted for like some purpose, right? Um,
Mhm.
and so that like this, but this whole area is like highly secretive. Like this isn't like you know what I mean. Like this is like the kind of thing that there people want as little attention on as possible. Basically, I mean, it's just that's just the reality of it. Like the more thought there is put in that kind of stuff, the more like questions it get raised, the more like answers have to be given. It's just not like it's a bad cycle. You just don't talk about it. So it's like a lot of physics and like science communication is just like ambiguous bullshit about like the stars. I think
Uh-huh.
genuinely, I think that's genuinely like, what the purpose of that kind of stuff is just to be like you can't even the distance between us and the
I'm
sun
sorry.
is greater than the distance between Jupiter and Pluto. Like just these comparisons, it's like, whoa, that's wow, we're so small in the grand scheme of things. Like these really weird, and then it's like
Mhm.
you can kind of lure curious kids in. And then once they start getting mathy and they're kind of computer nerdy isolated, it's like, we got you. You're going to work for the weapons companies. You know what I mean? You're gonna help
Oh.
work for the internet companies. It's like I think that's kind of the pipeline, the STEM pipeline of like getting curious kids interested in like profound questions. But again, if you were to actually talk about the kind of really profound stuff that does exist in these areas, like yeah, like imagine if there were these kind of undocumented behaviors that are these kind of secret key access points that exist in all these points in technology that you can kind of get into. You know, like that's a really wow. That's kind of a really weird. That's like lock picking at a whole other level, right? Like knowing these little key points that are like you could kind of hijack and get into, like that's crazy. Um, but that's like there should be as little attention on that as possible from a governmental perspective, right?
That's really. I wonder how
So
deliberate
it's like the choice
the.
of how we represent these fields. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder how deliberate that is. That people are going on YouTube. I mean, creators going on YouTube, and the representation of science is, or at least physics, is. Oh, actually, well, yeah. Let me finish the thought, which is, yeah, how deliberate is when you have these people like Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about physics in terms of, oh, the stars and shit, because um, those are.
What if
Would you
Neil
say?
deGrasse Tyson
Mm-hmm.
was on a commission for aerospace defense companies in 2004 for the Bush administration, and on four subsequent national security and defense contractor sponsored. How can we make aerospace and astrophysics more interesting? How can we make the public like and believe that space travel is something that we should pursue and fund? Panels. Since
Mm-hmm.
like 2004, he's been on four of these. These are sponsored by defense contractors. And the explicit topic of it is like, we got to get people interested in space. Like, if we can get people interested in space, we can get funding for rockets, is like the basic thing. And like, we can get funding for satellites and like space mining and all this like crazy shit they're trying to do. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can get funding for that if you can get people interested in the idea of space exploration. And one way to do that is through like science communication. That's like a thing that was proposed by Neil deGrasse Tyson and his fellow defense contractor funded panelists on a governmental panel
That makes
whose
way more
report is
sense.
public. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, I think that's a pretty good piece of evidence. Like it's fair for you to ask that, but also, what do you think about that response? That's pretty strong evidence, I feel
That's
like.
a really strong, yeah, there's some really strong evidence too. And I see the direct
That
link too in terms of
it's
space knowledge. And then, yeah, people want to, it's like, God, we need to, advance our capabilities in order to reach space.
what's out there? Like what's even
Mm-hmm.
out there? Let's put a guy with a really cool voice in front of a green screen with like crazy graphics.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, think about how effective it. Like that's actually really smart. Like if you think about that, that's like a pretty good like respect a little bit to that. Like I respect that a little bit in terms of
Uh-huh.
strategy wise. Like
Mm-hmm.
like that got me pretty interested in space, I gotta say. Like I was
Uh-huh.
super interested in space as a kid. I was so interested in space. Like still am, of course. I was like super. I love the Artemis stuff. I don't know how much you follow that, but
No, I didn't follow it at all. I'm not.
I just thought
If
it was kind of cool to.
wait,
I,
wait, wait. Sorry, I'm thinking about, because you said something and it sounds, they always use some like pretentious names to name their missions or whatever the fuck, and all I remember is it's just a meme clip of it where Trump is talking to these astronauts in space, and then they just leave the mic hanging awkwardly, and that Canadian, yeah, it's very. He probably should have just said fuck you, but then that would have just jeopardized the whole whatever the fuck they're doing in space. Right? It's like, oh, we're not gonna bring you back down. And you're not gonna have
we're
Elon
not
Musk
we're
on
gonna leave you
X.
in space.
Yeah, right. It's the shit that he would do. Oh my word. So wait, is that? Am I thinking of the same thing that you?
No, no, yeah,
you know?
100%. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Yeah, the Artemis mission. Yeah,
I
no,
like
that's
how that's
exactly
the
what I
only
saw.
thing I know. It's like, that's
That's the only
concerted.
thing I know too. Like I have not followed it with such detail, but
Uh,
I've seen the like general, like like the slingshot around stuff. I don't know. That seems cool. I haven't seen any like footage
uh-huh.
much of it, I guess, like which is kind of weird. Like I haven't seen a ton of it, but like I just I've been paying much attention to the news in general. To be fair, it's just been kind of
Mhm.
like meh.
Venus is the coolest, I think.
Venus is badass.
Well, I think Venus is, well. All I know is that the USSR missions onto Venus, and then
Oh, and
them,
they landed for like 10 seconds. They got the
yeah,
photo and stuff.
yeah, that they land for 10 seconds, and the pressure is just so dense.
So
Um,
crazy.
and they have to figure out, okay, how do we map? To me, that's a video game. I think that's the
Yeah,
best of physics in terms of, okay, let's try and withstand the I don't know to say the impossible, but I mean the sheer pressure on Venus is not, you're designing something that's, you don't, it's not, it's in such an uncontrolled environment in terms of you have to take it into space and just designing around all of that. Yeah, that's a video game to me. That's like IRL video games,
yeah, definitely.
and what you're playing, which is
Terraforming.
really funny, right? Because you sort of in the way that you described Call of Duty, it sounds like it's kind of like a military recruitment vehicle. But it's funny the way you said it. You kind of said it with some skepticism because it is kind of funny how I, I see it as like a complete utter failure. It's more of, oh, you've got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch of
exactly.
meats
Yeah.
playing, you know, Nazi
Yeah.
zombies, yeah, trying to figure out like strategically. It's funny. It's one of those things where it's, oh, we're gonna. It's not even like this was like a deliberate thing in terms of you make a game that has so much richness to it, like BO1 Zombies, that you can infinitely create strats. And people were talking about like, I went on this Chris Voltage video. I didn't even know what the fuck I was looking at. It was
It was
like
a great video.
this is
Great
a
video.
it was, yeah, it was like this is the master spawner. When you're looking at it, then you can't actually kill the when I say
When you
C-130.
see the actual H130 footage, it's the same. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's,
Like
yeah, it's crazy.
when you
um
see that, it's like to me, it's like okay, that's the argument for why it is a recruitment video in terms of
mhm,
like they're prepping you for those skills. But I think it's a correlation cause because it's like it's the biggest video game and it's a country that is highly militaristic. Like
mhm.
of course there's overlap. I don't think Call of Duty is like causing a disproportionate amount of like people to join them. I think it's like I think other things cause the military to have what it has, you know? Like
But the
I don't think it's like, oh, if we just if
Call
Call
of
of Duty had just been more like pro peace than everything, you know, like no, like I don't think that's how it works, you know.
I think Call of Duty does. When I learn about real history, I say real history,
Yeah,
but history that's just more closer to reality than
rigorous, yeah.
um, Call of Duty. It does sort of, or just how war is conducted in a way where it's like we have these guys that are sort of here. It's sort of like a story of a bunch of friends doing some like crazy shenanigans with
Yeah.
like backstab and betrayal. It's nothing to do with war in terms of like, oh, insane PTSD, limbs getting chopped off, reintegration back into life, the sort of crazy sexual slavery that has happened basically for
Oh yeah.
most of history. Um,
Oh yeah. Every
and
time, too.
mhm. And that's really that's just never talked about it too. What? How do you have like a bunch of men, and how do the sexual dynamics exist in terms of like, is it a bunch of pornography? Is it a bunch of them harassing local women? What does this look like? That is, and
Dude,
actually,
think about how crazy it is that it's like, oh, after the Korean War, you had all these businesses popping up in America, like
mm,
these nail salons that are just these fully female places where it's like these like jobs kind of being invented for a whole new class of people that are being brought over. And it's like, yeah, like there are a lot of people bringing over these like Korean women they like promised to take to America
mm,
who they were, like abusing or whatever. And like, they had to find jobs for them. So there was like these like dry cleaning things that opened up, these like nail salon things that opened up. And like there was a lot of businesses that kind of started and were populated by the kind of like fact of the need to find jobs for people who are like essentially like sex slaves. Like, it's kind of crazy.
essentially sex ed. This is but it's the most fucked up thing too. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but
the
like it wasn't like from their perspective too, like they might have been actually getting, I mean, like they don't want to be in a country at war. Like they actually probably wanted to come to America. Like I mean, it's kind of a complicated thing. It's in a lot of ways. I mean, but like I'm not like fully condemning it, but I'm like, yeah, like come on. It's like they're, oftentimes extremely young and like these, GIs were not these like soldiers, like these frat guys were not super kind to them. It's like especially in the 50s. Like
mhm.
and with racial dynamics too, like they did not see them as like like equals in like any way, so it's like I don't know, I'm not like saying they're bad people for sure. I'm just like, I'm just assuming there's not treating them with the best of respect,
We need to go back into the 50s. We really need those
yeah.
relationship dynamics to exist.
They're just so strong, so
Mhm.
effective, so stable, I think, for everybody involved.
For everyone involved, yes. I want to take some math. Um, oh, wait, actually, here's a question, right? So, obviously, so I'm not actually really against Al Gore at all, but counter juice in terms of the hypocrisies that exist in society, where there are other drugs that exist that let's say like LSD, right? That's a
Uh-huh.
particular one where there is this I think a lot of these jobs are like relatively new in terms of like byproducts of
Yeah, like in the 50s, it was
chemistry.
like the 50s or the 30s or whatever. Like it, like I
Hmm.
forget if that was acid or LSD, which one it was. It was the 30s or the 50s, but it was like that's like the order for one of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
and
really recent.
yeah, and the fact that these are just banned. And there's I've heard a bunch of different conspiracy hypotheses in terms of these drugs being banned. I have no idea how to pass them, but I guess it's the time in terms of why is there this massive hypocrisy in terms of these other drugs that don't seem to be nearly as bad, and some of
Yeah,
these drugs in terms of the byproducts were sort of originally called like, oh, these are like the least toxic, this is the least toxic drug. I don't remember exactly which one it was. It was like, this is the least toxic drug, you know. This
you
is like
can't. They're like, no, we
the
gotta get rid of
least
this.
side effect. I'm thinking, and we're still in a society where I think gaming culture is changing that. I think the gaming culture is just, they're way more about like Mountain Dew and weed rather than, oh, let's like gather around
Yeah,
the place and, you know, drink alcohol or whatever.
but I mean,
um
think about the fact that all of these chemical compounds, these like compositions and syntheses of chemicals.
mhm,
So it's not just like the thing with the drug war is it wasn't just that they banned drugs. They had to ban the precursor chemicals to the drugs. But you can't just ban the precursor chemicals. You have to ban precursors that could make precursors. So you're banning a lot of chemicals from being widely distributed to the public. Like a lot
mhm,
of like to get access to a lot of chemicals, you have to have like research credentials in some way to kind of order from certain companies or some sort of company that you're working for, some sort of consultancy you're working for. So like people to access like fundamental compounds that exist in nature, you have to have like some sort of special clearance. And like to access like life-saving medication that could really save you, you're not allowed to synthesize them yourself, even though like the knowledge exists to do it. You're not allowed to synthesize it yourself. You have to like let a company do it and sell it to you, and
hmm,
you have to like buy it from them, even though this compounds all exist in nature, and we all should
mhm.
have access to all of it.
When
It's
you say
just that
should have,
there's
like,
been
how can I go on my garden and be able to get them, or yeah, how realistically could an average person access
well, I'm
these
saying that
chemicals?
like in terms of local area, like apothecaries, like think about apothecaries from back in the day where you would have
Okay,
these
I don't know
like
what that word means.
medicine men.
Okay,
Wait, what?
I don't know what an
Okay,
apothecary is.
apothecaries were like pre pharmacists, and they basically were given like medical based compounds that they would like roll into pills. Like
Hmm.
pills in like medicine back in the day used to be these like cubes that they would like chop up where you would like mix compounds together, and you would
Hmm.
like cut them up into these like little cubes. And so apothecaries were like the ones that basically they were the kind of people who like created the drug, basically the kind of thing that you would take. Whereas now pharmacists basically receive the drug pre-made from some sort of factory, right? But the monopoly on these compounds and the production of these compounds and the synthesis and like product and manipulation of these compounds means that uh, some you have to get it from these like companies. You can't produce any of this stuff yourself. And I'm saying that like that is a representation of like classifying and like making secret fundamental knowledge about like nature that's just like a fact of life. Like it's a fact of life that you could make this stuff possible. It's like it's an artificial limit on this knowledge because theoretically anyone could
Hmm.
be able to generate insulin. You could
Hmm.
make insulin, but you're banned from making it the certain set of ways that are the best at making it because those ways are copyrighted by companies that have to then are like sitting on that to own that to charge you money, right?
Copy
So
law
I'm saying
is crazy.
like
The
that's
fact that
crazy, right?
that can be copyrighted, to me, that makes
That makes
no
no
sense.
fucking sense.
It's
And
crazy.
like the guy inventing insulin is like, I want to charge like a like point 0.1 pennies for insulin.
Hmm.
He's like, you couldn't copyright insulin just like you couldn't copyright the sun. And it's like they did. It's like what? Like
Mm.
he said that. The guy inventing it said that. Like crazy,
Mm.
crazy, right?
Yeah,
Like insane.
I don't know.
But like this is what I'm saying. Like there's so much secrecy around like just like basic science stuff, and it's like no, and like but her field, the woman talking to her field, health science, dude,
Mm.
the biggest set of bullshit comes from health science. That's the field that's like, oh, dude, chocolate is so good for you because the antioxidants,
Uh-huh.
or like they're like you got to take like 10,000 milligrams of like vitamin B for your skin. Like
Hmm.
there's just these crazy trends that just start up because of health science, and it's like it's not AI That's the reason why health science is bullshit. She's saying that the Instagram accounts for Columbia Medical School are like should be run by doctors or something. Like that they wouldn't be just posting positivity slop like naturally. That's like what PR people do. They post like, wow, what a great day to like remember your like, 5 healthy habits or something. Like that's like, like that's what they do all day, you know? But
Oh
like
wait,
she's acting like the AI makes it a new thing, and it's like it's not. I don't know. That's my criticism of
how
it.
to notice
I
it?
like I
They
like the video
start typing
overall.
in semicolons, even though people can just change. Like the PR people can just change because these are accounts and sorry, these are institutions and companies and whatever. These
Yeah,
are not
like
individuals.
doctors, or like doctors. Like they're not doctors. Like they're literally not doctors, and they're generating this slop, and it's like they kind of always were. And I feel like she's going looking for examples of there being this slop. But to me, whenever I would see these accounts, it's always this like positivity, like, it's like they'd have pictures and it's like, is this even of your school? Like, did you just get this from some other school? Like, like
Wow,
this was like a thing in the past that I would like see and like wonder, you know what I mean? So like there's like like I don't know. So that's why I have suspicion of that kind of like comparison, because it just feels like, well, what you're not comparing it to what it was. You're like imagining what it should have been and then saying that's what it was and then like comparing it to that.
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. The pre AI, saying this the other day. The pre AI,
Nostalgia.
yeah, the nostalgia for an academic environment that just never existed pre AI, where it was the what you call it. It's not as if these weren't super elitist institutions that aided in what you call it, aided in it, as you said, like weapons manufacturers. It's not how napalm. It's not how napalm was made. Like it was made
Yeah.
with the intelligence of
MIT.
yeah, MIT. I don't know what specific university it was, but yeah, I mean, these have
Yeah, it was
now.
like,
That's a big gap, I know, from where we are now in terms of like timeline. So I don't know what has happened between that. Um, I wouldn't be surprised, but there is.
well, actually, I have a really good article that I just sent my sister
Okay.
today.
Uh,
Um, it's that you'll, I think, find very interesting.
okay. I'm getting deranged by this. I'm getting messaged by this deranged guy. I was telling you about this fossil. I was telling you the what do you call this? The follow the difference between at least to me, my private definitions between tradition and culture. And
Okay,
this
yeah,
guy is messaging me. MCSG is back. The server that we played on, Minecraft, Hunger Games
yeah.
server, and I watched one of my friends, Alvin. He was streaming on Twitch, and it's just a fossilized version of what we just played. It's a
Oh no,
yeah, it's just
that's
tradition,
sad.
and it's funny because that's exactly what I expected it to be, because there is this level of conservatism, and I've seen this. It's really interesting. So when video game updates release well after the game has already been out, it tends to be rejected so vigorously. So a bunch of fighting games, the updates are just accepted. It's like, oh, this is the next version of the game. We're going to move to the next version of the game. But if
Right,
it comes out
sure.
a decade after, no, there's it completely not accepted. There is this like
Complete
conservatism.
rejection.
Yeah, like complete wholesale rejection. It is crazy. Like Latin America will still play O2, not the sort of remastered version O2 UM. Third Strike, the game that EXE really likes to play.
Yeah.
He there was going to be a version that was going to be okay. We're gonna change it. We're gonna balance it. We're gonna release the final version of the series. They said, "Fuck no, don't do this. We don't ever want you to touch anything." And you know what?
Okay.
I kind of agree.
Maybe fair. Maybe fair.
I
Yeah.
think maybe agree because one of the re-releases of the game, they removed a bunch of unblockables, blah blah blah, and that's not bueno, because that's what the character was at that moment, and just because you didn't envision it doesn't mean that isn't something that people value now and people know how to play against. And
You've
so
you've told me that Pakistan is good. Are they good
oh no, they're
at
like crazy.
adapting?
The bug sounds like fucking crazy.
Are they
um
good at adapting to new kind of things too? Like, is that kind of something they're known for? Because I'm just curious, like, are there countries that are kind of known for the opposite of like being more like the ones on the new gen thing? Like, is that a thing, a
Pa-
trope too?
Pakistan is really good, and it's not easy to understand why. I'll probably say they are the kind of new kids on the block. I would probably say just the arcade culture. There is a offline arcade culture that just tends to breed the strongest players. So when Japan was just the strongest in basically every game, all Korea and Tekken, it was well they had incredibly robust arcade cultures because
Okay.
the in terms of it's not only that the salaries are lower in these places, but it's also like different tariffs that exist on different products that also make a console just even more expensive. And so
Okay, sure.
you going to PC bungs or arcades or game centers, whatever
Just
you want
makes
to
more
call them,
sense.
yeah, it just makes way more sense financially. And so you have this
That's
really
great.
creative culture because they pirate a lot of the stuff. And so SNK is actually, so this is KOF. So the Street Fighter and KOF, Street Fighter is sort of the very popular in, let's say, America. But in Latin America, China, it's KOF. That's their main game. That's the game that
Okay,
they
sure.
super care about because the arcade boards were very modifiable. You could change games really quickly. And so they particularly gravitated towards those games and they pirated the fuck out of. When I say pirates, I mean it's
Phased.
way more even expensive out of that in terms of they make their own sticks in terms of like the
Oh,
joysticks that they use.
that's sick.
Yeah, so there will be people in the arcade that make just like okay, well
Custom
let me make you
sticks.
yeah like custom stick. It's not these they're not these robust sort of manufactured ones in a factory blah blah blah. It's their own sort of like this guy's getting a fucking saw out to make a stick for you. It's that level of just local
Wow.
creativity that exists.
Artistry almost.
Yeah,
Artisanry, yeah.
there's a documentary. I think it was like a short, like 10-minute documentary. I
Oh,
think
that's
Core
sick.
Gaming did it. Like Core, like Core Gaming Pakistan.
I
Uh,
love that local ingenuity. I love that.
oh, and the thumbnail is just one of the custom sticks at the moment. The miracle of Pakistani Tekken, but it's not only Pakistani Tekken. It's that crazy at KOF. This guy's actually it's funny because yesterday I was listening to a podcast, and he was saying, "Yeah, I went to Pakistan, and this guy was playing KOF, and he knew me. He knew who I was, and so obviously I'm from the Tekken world, so yeah, this guy played me, and he just knew how to punish everything. And Tekken is a game famously, by the way, for
Okay,
being
sure.
very deep in terms of, oh, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you have a 12 frame punish, you have a 13 frame punish, you have a 14 frame punish, and
Oh my
you
god, that's
have different.
crazy. That's psycho. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so we just did the perfect, most damaging 13 frame punish. And this guy was just playing KOF. It's like, oh, his main game just knows how to do all of these things.
That's
Um,
so insane.
yeah, this
So
is
they're cracked.
oh yeah, this is probably I wouldn't be surprised if but because the visa is a really big issue. This was the strongest region in Tekken. Nobody even knew it yet. We were cheering, it's like, oh, Nia is back, and this guy's running like a Thanos gauntlet. Arslan Ash comes, he just combusts. It's just oh wow, this
Oh,
guy's
that's
so much better.
brutal.
It was I've never even seen this happen. It just boosted the popularity of Tekken further because it was just an anime storyline.
That's
Everyone
so
just called it.
sick. That's
It
so
was the
sick.
best thing that could have ever happened to
They
the
just
game.
showed up out of nowhere and took over.
Yeah, basically. Well, no, it was just Arslan Ash at first, and then they
Oh, sure,
slowly
sure, sure.
started trickling in. But
Because of
Arslan
the
Ash,
visa, yeah.
yeah. So it's just not easy to get, even multiple players. Still even now. So yeah,
So it's
just
like a new Pakistan character shows up and it's like, oh shit. It's like
oh yeah.
this guy. This
Mhm.
guy could be the next guy.
And they don't play on the sticks that you could plug into a PlayStation. So it's like, oh, this
Huh.
guy just dropped the combo. Like this guy was dropping combos and winning. It's just like what? At first, I couldn't even believe that. Just hearing that, I had to watch it. It's like, oh wait, yeah, this guy sometimes drops combos, but he's on the and it's not as if these players were bad in terms of the players before. Like these were masters at the game. Like
Sure.
Knee is like, if you watch this guy, it's just the most. If you know exactly what he's doing, it's like punishing movement, everything. It's just the next level. It's sort of like showing zombie players back in the day. You see King Jack playing the hardest shit, and then you show them trade strats. They would
You're like,
compose.
what the
What
fuck?
the fuck? You know those memes of giving a Pringle to a 1500 peasant. It's the same thing. It's but you guys are imagine Mob of the Dead, right? You see that
Borderline witchcraft. Borderline witchcraft.
it's like the master spawn, and they're talking about the era, and they're like, okay, I'm not gonna use electric cherry and
That
shit.
video was so good, dude. That video was so good. I was like, I want that for all the maps. Like, I want to see that for all the maps. Frankly,
Oh yeah, sure.
I want to see that
I
kind of research done for all the maps. I want to know, like, you know, like, are there like those things being lost for like on like World at War for like the Doris World at War? 'Cause I know there's all those weird like errors that take place
uh-huh.
on that. So you wonder if there's like some sort of spawn thing
Hmm.
that's taking place, some sort of bleed out that's taking place and adding entities or something.
Do you notice
But
how
it also
B?
seems like a lot of first rooms that like use bleed out strats. So
Uh-huh.
if you could know how to make him bleed out faster, like that'd be
Hmm.
fucking sick using that circle.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Um. I wonder if that's a thing on maps prior to Ascension because of how on the recent you don't have to worry about them despawning. That's a an Ascension thing that they added. I think was it Ascension that first added that where they start despawning once you're not looking at them with the crosshair.
Oh, I don't know actually. That's a good question.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying like like that sort of analysis in terms of the
Yeah,
like
I know what you
the
mean. The
tools he
general.
was using. Yeah,
Yeah.
the tools he was using specifically. Like I want to see that kind of like error analysis done on other maps. Like I know Chris is doing that in Mob because it's like, but
Chris
that's
Bump,
another
yeah.
thing I wanted to point out. Like I would bet money that AI is extending Chris's abilities as a coder and ability to like make cool shit and like test stuff in the game. And like if you look at a lot there's like explosion in ciphers being solved
Hmm.
for Call of Duty. I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, dude, there's so clearly AI being used. Like you're telling me it's coincidental that it's just like happening at the same time. Like, no way. And it's kind of
Wait,
like the
wait.
negative
Explain
thing.
that
I think
again.
it's like, oh, the idea that that people are, on their own without
Hmm.
AI, just suddenly at a much faster rate solving these, 5+ year old, 6, 7 year, plus year old ciphers. Like that's like
Which
just
ciphers? I'm
like
thinking.
in zombies, like in various zombie maps, there have just been this like an increase, maybe 3 or 4 in the last
Uh-huh.
year. Ciphers being solved. Where prior there was, like these had been dormant for 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9 years or whatever it was. So like this is I think there's like I think AI is definitely extending people's tools of analysis too. Like I think Chris
Mm,
probably like was able to make this thing he's doing to like see this using an AI understanding of like how like the coding works for the game to like reveal stuff.
interesting. I didn't even think about that. But also, you see how
Because have you
arbitrary?
seen people do that before?
No, never. I've never.
The,
I don't even
I've
pay
never seen it.
attention.
So like
Like,
no, that's what I was gonna say. Like I've never seen them before either. So like to me, it's
mhm,
like interesting that that's never been something like I would expect that kind of thing could have been seen before. I mean maybe I think maybe I've seen Phoenix or something use something similar.
mhm,
Um, but I haven't seen anyone use it on BO2 at the
mhm,
very least. I might have seen Phoenix use it on like Shang or something.
mhm.
But yeah,
BO2 definitely is just going to be more delayed just because that is just more of a console game before. Where BO1 had the expertise, the redacted, I call it like the redacted renaissance, really, which was Moab sort of going around and going, hey, let's let's play PC on BO2. And
yeah,
I guess I MC involved in that too. And that's when a bunch of testing got done and we found a bunch of new strats. So I wonder if yeah, things are just gonna be more delayed on BO2 with a
I think
less
so.
technically proficient base or like the proficiencies behind that of BO1. But you see how
I think so.
arbitrary that is too, in terms of the
Sure.
location of it's like
Yeah, it's
okay,
super
well this
random.
is yeah, this master spawner, but it just so happens to favor cafeteria other than instead of the other cool OnlyFans strat.
OnlyFans
Uh,
strat. I know it's so ridiculous. Like that made me so sad that like it's like OnlyFans confirmed dead.
mm.
Like
Well, not dead,
and
just
well
only parts of the
until
game.
like what 140 140 what he said like
That
130
that's pretty good.
140.
I'd say that's pretty good. That's that's enough of the game where I'm going, okay, that's cool. That's
No, like that is
that's a
cool. That is
compromise.
cool. I'm not discounting it, but I'm saying that like it is the case that people hoped for more than that. They wanted OnlyFans to be like viable all game in some sense.
Oh, of course, yeah, that'd be
Um,
so much superior, especially for how long Mob is too.
yeah,
OnlyFans is the equal, and who's to say it is confirmed dead because that's only him testing. Is this we're only concluding only Chris putting his head onto these
no,
tools
no,
and
no.
then
I'm
figuring
just
out.
saying like it's
Mhm.
it's it's like when he's making this claim though specifically, like I believe it more than most.
It's not
Like
well.
he
It's not that I.
specifically is
Mhm. I know he's the expert, so I wouldn't be
he's in the
surprised.
position to know that. And like I also like think he was pushing OnlyFans as a strategy. I think he wants it to work. He named it OnlyFans like it was his
No,
baby.
I
Like I
named it
think
OnlyFans. I named it
okay, you might have
OnlyFans.
named it OnlyFans, but like I'm not sure about that then now. I'm not sure. But I will say that is a strategy I know he wanted to make work. I saw him play it a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Yes,
He
yes.
was very focused on promoting it. That was maybe it's such a cool strategy. And like
Hmm.
I know on just like a playing level, like it's so much more
Hmm.
fun. So that's what I'm like sad about. Is like, damn, like I hope I don't know. I hope he does make a way figure out way to make it work.
Who's to say another analysis complete? It's like 4 hits MP40. I remember seeing you going, wait, onboarding the windows seems like a consistent way to just hold a horde there where you just have the whole horde behind you and then the rest of
Yeah,
the horde comes in and you can hit the bot. That was a genius. I don't know.
yeah.
I can't even believe that you could do that consistently where you just don't even have to uh what you call it, do the hit the teleporter, which saves you a bunch of
Well,
points.
see, that's my that like that's the thing is like I couldn't do it consistently in the sense that I am definitely objectively one of the worst high round players in history in the sense that you know like not even getting really insta kill rounds,
Uh-huh.
dying
That
on the
150.
dogs before
Yeah.
instant,
That's crazy.
well
I
yeah
got it.
159 right like
Yeah.
so I think I'm a good no man's land player, good version
Mm.
player, good speedrunner, maybe one of the worst high round players of all time.
You're so level.
I would say I'm up there with I don't even know who else, but I would say I'm up there in terms of like hours put in
Mm.
theoretically to
Mm.
like high rounds achieved. I think I'm up there as like one of the worst high round players of all time. Like my
Jesus.
attention, like
Mm.
sustainment, not there. Like
Uh-huh.
my ability to like not just be doing 40 tabs and crash the game, not there. So
Mm.
skill issue, I guess. But I stand by that. I stand by that. I think that's an accurate way to describe my like what I did in zombies. Like I was good at those things, but in terms of high rounds, we're one of the worst. It's I think it's a very
Jesus.
fair thing to say, frankly.
Uh-huh. I haven't seen you what you call it. I haven't seen your deaths, but that dog round death, man, that's really tough. That's really tough to say what
That's a
the
tough
fuck.
one. That's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. So I'm saying I might be up there as one of the worst of all time. I'm saying, and I say that proudly. I was good at what I was good at. I was, it was what it was.
Yeah, probably more.
So
If you're saying it's an
it,
attention thing, then yeah, that's probably more of a. That's actually what Wonder struggles on. I don't know if you've ever seen him play. He just plays in a way where I'm thinking there is no contingency here in terms of okay,
so aggressive
yeah, oh yeah, no, but it's aggressive for like, what?
for the sake of it.
No, it's not even for the sake of it too, because it's not. Oh, I'm playing aggressive and it looks incredibly stylish and cool. It's I look kind of like I'm sluggish in a way where I'm not leaving even
Sure.
any room. I'm not taking any contingency in terms of. I'm just gonna run around this corner and just. There isn't gonna be a zombie here. No, what the fuck are you doing? There is just a lack of that, and I think there's something very beautiful about watching. I like watching speedrunners play high rounds because
Yeah,
um there is that crossover in terms of it is just a really long speed run, and so all the people that the high round players just also tend to speed run the low rounds too, and so
exactly.
seeing a hyper aggressive player also go for high rounds is really interesting. Cause I'm thinking too, because I definitely played more safe,
Yeah.
and play, and then I see people going, "Whoa, that's really impressive." I see Oscar Otter and he's like jumping over the Novas as if it's nothing. I'm thinking I didn't have the guts to do that. Not that I
Yeah.
play
No,
Kino, but
he's so good. He's so good. It's crazy.
has he got instances on that
But
map yet?
but
But that's the but.
right? But like it's different. The high round game is different. Like
Oh, it so is.
I think I think if he, I don't know how much time it's gonna take, but I think I would almost feel like it's inevitable
Hmm.
that he gets a flow state game if he
Hmm.
puts in like the years. It might even be
He
next week.
is.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It could be, but I think
What's
he's
his
put in
highest
the
round on
time where
Kino?
like I literally don't know. I literally don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it
I
is,
I don't want. He also
but
plays
I
multiple
don't think
maps
it's that
though.
high.
Um, that's
But I
really
don't think it's that high.
I want him to get a crazy Kino game just because
Me too.
I think I would say in terms of the map tier list, I always think about this. The I think that might just be the second S tier map after
It's so
Dries.
good.
Yeah,
It's absolutely the second S tier map. I
it
completely agree.
those are the only two S tier maps. I think. I think the other
Yeah.
maps are far below. But it's an economy based map with a bunch of trapping and I'd say like emergent gameplay in terms of it's not a strat that you're playing. You're playing more of a philosophy. Trade strat isn't a
Yeah.
strat. It's like a KJ. It's funny because is KJ even a strat? It's not really if you think about it. It's actually a structure where all these other strats actually exist in. Where triple trap is
Yeah.
like, okay, think about KJ in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like the
that's
double
true.
trap
That's
strat,
true.
and think about as in
That's true.
okay, the M1 carbine what do you call it with the Gewehr trap, that's a puzzle piece, and
Yeah.
then you can add another puzzle piece, and then is in the triple the third trap, or you can just remove it. You can just remove that puzzle piece whenever you want. So it's one of this like
Right.
customizable Swiss Army knives that you can
Yes.
remove and add whenever you want. And so it stops being a strat. It's okay. Well, we're making a sort of structure based around this
An
uh,
optimization structure. Yeah.
at the Thompson room, where
Yeah.
outside of the Thompson room, you basically run a predictable loop, and it always sort of goes in one way. But you can add and remove elements of that loop, and yeah, that's actually the greatest gift that he gave us, which is this structure that seems to be the best structure. At least I don't
Yeah.
think anyone has really explored any other. But maybe people thought about Type 100, blah blah blah.
I
But
don't know. No, I don't think that's viable. I mean, I haven't seen anyone.
I've never seen anyone even try it. But and
I've
the
seen
spawn seem
for
to be the best.
co-op. I've seen for co-op like um that you can like do the box pretty fast up there if one of them has the waft, but
Mm-hmm.
uh like yeah, like I think there's actually like some pretty fun potential for example like on Buried. I don't know if you've seen the Buried 3 player world record that was gotten with like No Mole
Never
Man.
seen this.
Um, it's fucking psycho. It's like they're playing because they're running constantly to get the
What was the name?
generators,
Oh, okay.
the mannequins for the like subwoofers,
Mm-hmm.
and like the turbines,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, okay.
they're right. So the sorry, so they're constantly getting the turbines to get the for the for the subwoofer resonators, and they're running and they're basically flinging themselves up using the
What was the name?
paralyzer, and they're
Oh,
like
okay.
and then they're using the trample steam to fling themselves across, and like they're doing all these crazy cutbacks and throw grenades in it.
I've
And
never
I think if you
even
played
seen
something
this.
in, I think if you
Mm-hmm.
played something in bar, like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people talk about this, but if you play something in bar, you can do
Mm-hmm.
some crazy 3 player strats on Buried. And with the pausing features and like the land features in co-op now, like I
Oh, wait,
think
I've
people
never
could
even heard
actually do
about
some.
this.
I think people, yeah, I think there's some pausing features and stuff that people use and stuff for plutonium. I'm not sure though, but either way,
Uh-huh.
just as like an experiment fun game, like how far people could go. Like that's a fun ass concept of like playing like really like kind of intricate buried strats of like that require a lot of coordination. Like that's like the most co-op possible. Like in my mind, like coordinating like simultaneous movements and like
Mm-hmm.
really precise like moments of execution, like
You have to send me
that's
this.
the
It sounds
ultimate co-op.
exciting. You know what's
Like
funny
that's
is
yeah.
that co-op. I would say co-op kind of sucks in terms of I see.
I know, I agree mostly.
People extolling, oh, Call of the co-op is really sick. I'm thinking it's cool in terms of there's something unique about it on co-op in comparison to solo, but it's not that cool in terms of okay, well, I always, people take the highlights. I'm thinking about okay, well, how much time do you spend trading, and what does the trading look like? Look on Derice, and it's just masterful in terms of how co-op trading looks like in terms of the coordination that exists. But okay, yeah, I'm watching now. Oh, they're playing in Jug.
Yeah, so they're playing with the. I'm trying to get past the flopping. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
of course.
So watch this. This is like this is them. This is the kind of crazy
What
shit
the
that takes
fuck?
place. They're 15 hours into the game. So the war machine again to try to blow up the
Yeah,
turbine
yeah,
whenever they
blow up,
need to
yeah.
with the grenades. Isn't that so smart?
Yeah.
And basically, and this is what's so crazy too. So they actually have Leroy lock down the box, and so they're constantly trading out the war machine. They're doing
Oh,
trade strat.
what?
Yeah, the whole
Oh
time.
shit.
Isn't that crazy, dude? I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
this
like
is
this.
insane.
People ain't paying attention like me. People ain't seeing the things, you know. They ain't seeing the future. But look at this shit. This is crazy.
The fuck? So this guy's just getting the mannequin over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
and
why
they have
he's
to like,
there.
yeah, yeah, and like,
Oh my.
and they have to do these insane cuts.
Oh my god. It's laggy too.
Yeah, yeah. It's off host.
Oh, what?
And they're having to use the war machines to like kill the mannequins to like reset them faster, blow them up, and get them faster. To like just keep going as fast as they can.
This is sick.
And they have to do all this like super coordinated like hop over like cutback stuff.
Oh, no PhD? Like I have
No
no
PhD?
PhD. Yeah.
There's
Oh
some
yeah, I
moments where they, like,
forgot.
look at that.
Oh,
They
that's
flick it.
sick.
Do you see
I
that?
didn't know you. I didn't even know you could do that.
Isn't that sick?
Yeah.
That's actual co-op, dude. This is actual co-op. I'm telling you. Like,
Oh yeah, this is what it
people
looks
ain't
like.
seeing it, dude. This is what you need to be doing. Like, imagine this on the land, though. That's what I'm saying on the land. Like, if you could get 3 people IRL to do this land, no lag. Oh my god, this would be the fucking coolest shit ever, dude. 'Cause that's the only problem. It's like the lag. Like, most of the clips come from the lag, frankly.
Why is he deliberating up there?
Watch this.
Oh. Oh. Oh shit. I hate when they attach onto the side. That's the most annoying thing.
Oh, it's so.
No crossbow being in this game actually kind of makes it really hectic, and I kind of like it.
Oh, it does. It's so hectic. Again, they're trading out the box the whole. It doesn't like. Not all the
Oh,
clips
you
are
can
showing it,
slide down the. Is that banister or something? The
Wait.
Did you see? Did you see how they slid down the? Yeah, you.
Like, let's see.
You missed it. Well, it's more forward. That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that. Yeah, totally. I did see that. Yeah, that's exactly. That's like a. That's so. Hitting that angle, that slide is like a goal of theirs because it sidesteps to like getting trapped. It's crazy.
What is that on the claymore? Is that a horse?
I don't know why. Actually don't know what it is. Oh, it's like.
Oh, it's a
like
man with a
Chad
beard.
Perth
What the
guy.
fuck? Oh, okay. Reviving. BL2 might. It's funny how BL2 is. Oh, this is what I was talking about. I don't like day 1 reviews or week 1 reviews or whatever, where people have an opinion on a game and these always get drowned out later on by, you know, other people making videos on the game that when the game is understood way more. But it's not even zombies now. Zombies is in a unique position because it's an intrinsic skill game, like basically purely intrinsic skill in terms of there is no like leveling up or development. It's just the same game as you were playing before. A little bit different with BL2 because we could just mod in.
Pretty close to that.
What'd you call it? But it's actually funny because it's funny because that's actually where the vision of the game kind of got fucked up in terms of it's meant to be this intrinsic skill game. You can't have things that retain over from experiences. I think that once they seeded that ground, I think the game was completely ruined. People talk about the QRs, obviously, but I think the intrinsic element is actually the most important element in that people don't talk about. Because think about BO3 and then you have level up systems, and level up system is just basically we want to neatify our audience in terms of we want them to have this like where you don't have to be good. It's not about achieving excellence or having this, or this is something that people talk in language learning in terms of oscillations. that was sick. That was
Was that
really,
sick?
really sick, by the way. That
I know,
was
wasn't that fucking
really
sick?
sick. Oh my word.
The
Oh
movement
my
was insane.
word.
Ah, I love
This
it. I love
guy
it.
is good.
I know, dude. This is so fucking sick. Imagine
Oh, and then he did it.
He's not lagging his ass off too. On
Oh
like,
my
it's so
word.
fucking sick.
Yeah,
You know,
this
they're
is
trying
the
to neatify their
real
audience.
deal.
And look, do you see how he's trading out the fucking war
Yeah,
machine the whole
War
time? It's
Machine,
like
yeah.
crazy. They're trying to neatify their audience. They're trying to make them basically like, oh, shiny, like, you know, collectible
Yeah.
thing, like
And it doesn't
prioritize
oscillate,
that over
right?
gameplay, right?
You see how that doesn't oscillate though, where you have a fixed level in terms of, it doesn't actually say your level at the game in terms of the more metaphorical level in terms of like how, well, what, you know, what is their level at the game? It's more of a, oh, this is how much you've played the game, you get a bunch of experience, and then boom, boom, boom. And these, oh, actually, there's this Electric Underground guy that I've told you about in terms of he's very much into the game design philosophy of games, and he has a really good sort of understanding of game design. So this was a cool sort of counter placement he did there, and I like that.
Right?
A
And
lot
watch,
there.
boom! Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
This,
that's sick, yeah.
that double placement was so sick. I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, let me just take out this guy, snipe,
Yeah.
and he's like, let me
Yeah,
flip
and
it
then
around perfectly,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
locks in, takes all the hits. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
it's a
Sorry,
deal.
keep going. This like other guy that you told me about.
So, yeah, he has a really good, I think he has a really good, not only factor in understanding the, what do you call it, the game design of, or understanding mechanical elements of a game and why they ruin a particular game, but also,
Sure.
so he's been talking about arcade design in terms of, well, there were these developers that developed for the arcade, and these developers have eventually moved on to developing for consoles, right? And there has been slowly a slow shift in terms of the priorities that exist in arcade design and console design. And so these arcade designs being left over on console games are some of the coolest things that we've had, because arcade design in an arcade environment kind of sucks in
Right.
ways, because you have to keep paying money, and so that's where arcade design came from in terms of we have these really difficult games, and when because they want to they want to make you pay money, and they exist in an environment where this is the best you have, and so they can keep your attention. You have to deal with the discomfort in a way that
Sure.
this is sort of like basically I'm just talking about
You're
AI
locked
right
in
now.
'cause they're the monopoly. They're the monopoly. You're like they have your monopoly on your attention, so you have to just put up with whatever they fucking give you.
Exactly, and so the sort of development of the arcade game design to a console home environment where it's no longer, okay, well, we need you to keep earning money, and it's more of, okay, we need to keep you on the game for a longer amount of time, so you get more invested, so you spend money on microtransactions, or we get to bump up our stats in terms of, we look real cool for our shareholders that we have, so many players online on Steam, info,
Exactly.
blah, blah, blah. And so the way they achieve this is obviously bloat in terms of, okay, well, let's add a map with a bunch of useless elements that do not mean anything at all.
Nothing at all.
And
Instead of working on fixing fundamental game problems like the mob like fucking bleed out stuff.
Exactly. And so you have in the zombie example, you have level ups. What does me getting to level 35 mean? Well, we're gonna lock away a bunch of attachments that you can get, and the attachments will also like poorly balanced in terms of there is this gradual escalation of you having shitty weapons to better weapons, and that completely breaks it, because now you have these super weapons, and so it's clearly not designed in terms of zombies is very arcade. It's very reminiscent of arcade, and so you have it starts the same every time, because it then needs to be this sort of because you're using different arcade machines, and so it needs to be this intrinsic skill thing, and so you see how that's bled over to where they still haven't fully understood what consoles are meant, or the best way to sort of monetize consoles, which is, it's actually not having this arcade game design of it's super intrinsic skill, but we need this sort of you can
cosmetic based, aesthetic based.
Exactly right. And so
superficial reward, dopamine.
Superficial reward, yeah, dopamine, status, exactly right. And so him seeing that, I think this guy is clearly a reviewer.
Cognizant.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah. He's a reviewer on a different level because, quite frankly, I don't even really listen to reviewers in any way because they all kind of just seem
good. They
like
seem to usually suck. They usually suck.
horrible, right? That they don't have
Like,
an
because
understanding of the game in
also, are they
a.
gonna tell you not to buy games most of the time? Like,
Oh,
they
exactly, right.
love video games. They're writing
Mm,
people who love video games. Like, most
yes.
of the recommendations are gonna be like, yeah, definitely you should get this
Hmm.
video game. Like, that's gonna be a lot of it, or just give it a shot, So it's like they have to be biased towards that. Sorry, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, like
Exactly, and the financial
yeah,
elements creeping in, and no one is talking about that. It's like, oh, I disclosed that I'm sponsored. I don't care. You should never. There should never be any sort of financial ties,
like, what
and
do you
it's
mean
not even.
sponsor? You mean you're a fucking liar? Like, what does
Oh,
sponsor mean?
exactly
Like,
right.
you're a paid liar? Like, what?
But no, but it's not going to change my
Sponsor?
opinion. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
Of course it
how
is. Like,
could that? Of
otherwise they
course,
wouldn't fucking pay
exactly.
you.
Mm,
Like,
exactly
what
right.
else? Like, are you lying to me or them? You lying to me or the people who paid you? I think
Mm,
you're lying to
exactly.
me. Come on.
Yeah, I think you're lying to yourself because you want to sort of
You're lying to
retain
someone.
some integrity, and I think it's themselves. Really, I think that's the main sort of victim there.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I feel like everyone should see it at this point.
but this is the fucked up part, right? Is that it's not that. That's not even the big problem. Is that a lot of these creators get invited to a bunch of events, right? And
Right,
so
right.
they haven't they sort of know these people personally, and it's one of those
Yeah.
things where it was just some like guy from like one of like a host in America, like a TV show host in America that was it's like I met Trump, and like he was critical of Trump. It's like I met Trump, and he was like Bill Maher or something. I don't remember. It's like I met Trump, and he was like a really he invited me to a dinner. He was just like a really nice guy, and I'm thinking, yeah, you could talk to like a fucking rapist, right? Like your friend could
Yeah.
end up being a rapist, and a woman
Right.
accuses or man accuses them of doing a particular thing, and you can't just go, it's like, oh, but I talked to him. It's like you have no idea.
Right.
Like it might be super fucking credible. I'm thinking about like Grimes talking about Elon Musk. It's like no, I've seen him play a different game than he was accused of completely cheating, and it's like oh
Yeah, what
I've
was
actually
he
seen
had
him.
some game that he said he was like
Oh,
a top player in, but it's
this-
like was
oh,
it
but he was
Diablo?
obviously it was maybe Path of Exile, but it was basically a game that you have to the leaderboards are based on being a NEET, and so
That's what it was like completely impossible, like
exactly.
physically that he could
Uh-huh.
be. Yeah, or like, but one of the craziest ones I encountered in zombies was like there'd be like a guy modding,
Mhm.
and then it'd be like, bro, like I saw him play, and I was like,
Yeah,
you
that's just
saw
crazy.
him play, like
Yeah,
get
this
out
is
of here,
insane, right?
like
Um,
this is an insane planet I live on. This is a stupid
if
planet.
if somebody pulled up Zolphonos, Grimes wouldn't even notice. Like, I saw him play. It's like
The
you
first
needed.
is like that's he's a gross signs like he's so smart for doing that.
Oh yeah, you
He's
think
so
so?
smart. She would totally
Oh.
misunderstand it. It's like she would think like, wow, Elon is so smart for pulling up Zofernus. Like it's such a smart way to like get high rounds. He's such a genius.
She is. I can't even believe because yeah, to me that actually clicked when that happened. That clicked to me. It's like, oh, that's how victims feel when a bunch of this guy's friends just come and say, it's like, I know this guy personally. I'm thinking, whoa, I might go insane. That's the same thing. I felt like the fucking victim there, even though I like
Yeah.
the
Well, the fuck.
like the 0.1% of a victim there. How they would feel in that situation. That's crazy. I can't even believe that.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Fuck. But going back to the reviews, right? In terms of the they have connections to these people, and so
Oh yeah.
it reminded me of this
It
guy
was
that went.
issues.
Do you remember the Rufflecopter guy that when BO1 where we couldn't even connect online because you need so we can play solo because you have to connect online to check to see if you're online connected to the servers.
Maybe I
Okay,
don't really, to be honest.
so
Yeah.
so this happened maybe Corona or something. Solo there's a check to see if you connect to the servers. If you do, you get to
Oh yeah,
click
I do.
solo.
I have had that happen before. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we couldn't play BO1 from Steam anymore. And there's something very beautiful about you're competitively ready if you just load up BO1 from Steam. I think that's crazy because
like
the other games just don't have that. They just don't. They don't have functioning games. Now hold that for later. Just put that in your RAM. This is in. This guy basically, so the whole BO1 community basically were like hive minds where we're even past the point of communicating on pheromones. They basically did a collect fuck you to track. They were saying fuck you. You guys can't even create a game. So people gone obviously went crazy, BO1 players. And it was like a collective thing. I thought it was beautiful to see. It's like It's
That's beautiful.
of course you would be incredibly upset that a game that should work is not working anymore.
That did work. That
That
did
did
work.
work.
It just
Exactly
worked.
right.
It
Mm-hmm.
just was working. What the fuck happened?
Exactly right. And
Yeah.
so this guy went. I forgot what the guy's name was, but this guy went. He was on a podcast, and I remember Gerald Crovey being in the background. He said, and he was talking about the BL1 community, which is like, get our name. I don't want to be associated with a zombie YouTuber. Like, get our names out your fucking mouth.
Yeah,
Like, you
your
guys
mouth.
are people that are not fully informed about
You
the
are
things that you're
scum.
talking about. And then
You are
talk about them.
scum.
Scum. And so he goes, Rufflecopter. He goes, you guys, BO1 players thought that they wouldn't fix this. This post them fixing this.
Right.
So you guys didn't think that it was going to be fixed, Rufflecopter. And I'm thinking the arrogance that he was talking to me. I just wanted to slap in the face. Like, he needed to be a slapped in the face. I don't like physical violence, but at that point you needed to slap.
You have to use it. Sometimes you have to use it.
I'm talking about like, I wanted to like 50 Shades Gray him into my setup and go, okay, let's load up World at War and let's see how fast we can fucking error. Let's load up BO2 and see if we can actually like make the game function in a way that is conducive of how it works on console. Let's load up BO3 and let's not have a backdoor in my PC by 5 minutes on playing on multiplayer. Let's play all the other ones where the same thing happens. Right. And you're fucking telling me that our fucking tears and fucking rages and screams were not completely justified with the absolute state that BO.
They're all so bad. The maintenance of these games is so shit. Like,
no,
that's
it's
what
not
I
the maintenance.
Understood.
No, don't even talk about that. It's not the maintenance. It's not the maintenance because 5 and 5 was a PC player.
It's fundamental design. Sorry, it's fundamental design. Yeah.
It's not even design. It's not even design. It's they couldn't port a game that worked on console onto PC. Why do we have 159 shit where we have to mod the game so this doesn't happen?
Right. Yeah, that was insane. Wait.
Yeah. Why are half of our menus missing on PC when on Xbox? You know, 5 and 5 moved to Xbox during the BO2 days when he was originally a PC player, right? You know that, right? Because I used to watch him back in the day, and he said, I remember when BO2 came out, I was a big fucking hater. He said, yeah, I'm gonna move to, I'm thinking of getting an Xbox. I don't know if he had an Xbox at the time. But I know that he was a PC player and he moved to console specifically so he could play the fucking game. You're on the best platform ever that can do everything, and you have to move on. So it's not even the maintenance thing. It's you can't.
No, it's not. It's fundamental design. It's fundamental design.
It's crazy to me.
It's fundamental engineering incompetence. It's incompetence.
I don't even think you can call that incompetence in terms of the people that exist in that studio must have been so creative. It's not even a creative bankruptcy thing. It's a genuine. It's crazy. I don't even understand how some. Care. Yeah, simply do not care, and so
they seem to not care. I mean, about outcomes, about quality, about like consistency, about like purpose, really, about anything that they do. I mean, and it's crazy because like I was watching the Jason Blundell recent stuff, the Dries commentary he did. He did like a director's commentary Dries thing. And he was talking to, I forget who he was talking to, just some like random YouTuber guy he talks to.
Did he direct Dries?
Yeah, he was involved in the creation of Dries. Well, one thing he said was that was really interesting, and I think this makes a lot of sense about like why zombies went the way that it did, weirdly. But is that the sound department was like the main like group of people that kind of was like the storyline originators of like the kind of start of the storyline, right? Like those kind of random radios, those like background sounds, the character voices, all that sort of stuff. Like they were the ones in charge of making all that. So they were like the story people for a long time. But he was talking about like Dries. What was he talking about? He's talking about basically about like how they originally designed the game. And he was saying that the thing that they cared about most of the time was like at the start was like Windows. They were super specific at Windows. And I'm like, that's so interesting to think about it. Like with they said, and they were saying specifically with like, he was saying like, on Verruct and Shino and on like Dries, he's like, it was all about like, okay, well, like where does that window go? And like, what does that allow you to do? And he's like, it was all about flows and like all about cycles. And he was at all this kind of other stuff he was talking about. It made total sense. But
wait, look how Dries is designed
Windows, and think about how good Verruct. Think about how good Verruct is as a like that. Like no shit, that's the best first room. Now that you say that, because you guys were so focused on like designing a really interesting spawn room. Like that was clearly the basis, and like I think that's a really big thing that's missing from so much of these fucking games is like
100%.
a really interesting spawn room, like a really cool spawn room that's like different and like interesting. Like I
I'm
mean,
out
there
10, man.
weren't enough. You know what I mean? Like that, there weren't enough like splitting you up at the start, like spawn rooms. I think, like for example, like
Oh, I don't
being
even
one
know
on
how they
your
didn't.
own.
Oh,
Like how do they not do that?
wait, wait, wait,
Like doing
wait.
four-way split, like a four-way split instead of
Yeah, yeah.
a half split. You know,
The
like why not?
crazy story is that in our primary school we had teachers, but then we had the LSA, which is basically an assistant teacher, basically. And
Okay.
this guy, Mr. Chad, I fucking love this guy. Super, we were just super
Yeah.
back and forth. He was a zombie player, and he told me about the reason.
Let's go.
He's telling me about Catwalk, and for me, I'm thinking because I never even heard of this. I was a BL1 player like since I was born, so I'm thinking, oh, I love
Right.
Kino. Like I just play Kino. He told me about, and because when he had no internet, and I didn't complete the campaign, I had no file of all the away, and so he told me, oh, you can get out the chair and you can do five. You can get this other map that I didn't even know existed, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so I did that. I did all of that. Yeah, I was like, five. What the fuck is this? Like, oh yeah, you play as like presidents from United States. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'm not even gonna be
Like,
honest.
what the fuck? And actually, historically, you're like, actually, this is what the fuck is this? Like, what?
Yeah, I did. I had no idea. So I'm playing the map. I'm kind of. I was never scared of Kino, but five to me, when you get to the labs and it's way darker in there, and I don't know
Oh,
where
it's
the power
scary as
switch is.
fuck. The
I'm
blue. Yeah.
I'm thinking, and then there's that one corner of the blood splatter. But anyway, let me, and that's how I figured about like DOA. So I told him, oh my god, I didn't know these other maps existed. And I'm thinking, oh, those are just like the ones that come with the game. There are like so many other maps that exist that they actually ported the previous ones from the previous game. I'm thinking, the previous game? What the fuck are you talking about? Because I didn't have World at War. I had COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, BO1, and so I'm thinking, wait, there was another one. I was like, oh, you don't know about Knock the Untoten? I think he called it Knock the Toten instead of Untoten. And but he told me about the rocks. That one made me go crazy when he said, "Oh, you're split up." I'm like, "What the fuck? You're split?" To me, that blew my kid brain.
That's what I'm
so
saying,
sick.
right? That's what I'm saying.
So
yes.
sick.
That
I'm
shit
thinking,
blows your mind, dude. And like
oh
no one talks about
my
that. And like literally, that makes sense though. But like think about it. It's like, why did we get such a fucking sick spawn room? Because they were thinking about windows and placement and purpose and like game function and like that's what they were thinking about. And like Jesus Christ, it sucks so much that they made us start thinking about stupid shit that didn't matter and had no game design purpose and no relevance and no functionality. And frankly, was
no
just a sort of
longevity.
like engagement farm and like a detention scheme for YouTubers. It's like it's stupid.
When you mentioned flow, you notice how good Doris's flow is in terms of every time
So
location
good,
takes you back to the like you don't there are no dead ends, and that's why Doris works in terms of trade strat works, because when you get to an area, there's always another area for you to transition to.
Yeah,
that's why the map works.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying for like it was very intentional. He said like you wanted it so that you were always coming back, but like for a purpose. Like that's what he was saying. Like it was like that's like the point of the map. And he's like that's like the cycle, and like that's like the whole thing is like the cycle.
I need to watch this.
It's a good video actually. His like director's commentary is pretty good.
Because we always because I would always talk about in my streams. What were they thinking when they made Doris? And I actually call this now the Lordran Reese sort of theorem. Well, not theorem, but I forgot what I called it. The question, sorry, the Lordran Reese question, which is, so there's this thing, basically, I call it even more artistic than the Reese, which is the Dark Souls 1 map. So this is something that people just endlessly talk about in terms of you all the Souls games are popular, but people always talk about, and I was actually watching this Cool Ray Gaming video, this is the same channel. He runs a podcast, the Pakistani one. He was talking to this guy called Margin Obama, and this guy starts talking when he starts like Dark Souls 1. I'm going, wait, that's like that. He like it was like a religious experience in terms of it's like Dan talking about the Bible for you. It's like you're actually gonna actually you want to turn Christian. That's the same reaction this guy's. It was. It was that's me. That's me talking about Doris. That's me talking about this Lordran, because he's played them all and he starts talking about it, and then I see this other guy talking about Dark Souls 1. It was like completely. It was a different guy who was saying the map. Oh, it was the Valai. where he does villain analysis on his YouTube channel, and he's talking about to Tim Kaine, the creator of Fallout, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, Dark Souls was my second favorite game. That just a map. It was just a map." And I'm thinking, whoa, okay, something's going on here where people recognize the brilliance of this, and
Okay.
it's not just me and talking to EXE like doing crazy ramblings on
Right,
how
right, right,
crazy the design is for this map because
right.
just it's infamous for being very interconnected, and so there is no fast
Yeah.
travel, and I'm very against fast travel. So having a game that flows like the Reese, it's very much I'm in an area, but then I can go to another area, but then I connect to the previous area. It's very flowy like
Right.
that,
It's
and
chain flowing, yeah.
exactly. And so this they never did it again. They just had fast travel in all their games, and
That
actually made fast
sucks.
travel even more what you call it accessible.
Central.
And so
Like,
this
was
is like
that
the
the
same
fire
thing.
stuff?
Would you say?
Is that the fire stuff or whatever it is, like the in Dark Souls?
What do you mean the fast stuff?
Is there something like you can like there's some sort of like fast travel mechanic in like Dark Souls 2 or whatever? I
Okay,
feel like I
so
saw.
you're talking about the bonfire. So from the bonfires, you can fast
Yeah,
travel, and so it's this non-diegetic way of
yeah,
traveling through the game. And so what Dark Souls One was so special is that it's Metroidvania. So Metroidvania is basically just an interconnected world, right? That doesn't rely on fast travel, and
okay,
where you can go back to a previous area, and then with more insight or abilities, you can go, oh wait, I could go here the whole time. I had no idea, and so that's what
right,
made
gotcha.
made these
So it's like constant rediscovery.
and do you know why this is arcade? So arcade design, right, where you had way less memory. You had memory limitations. I'm thinking about like Chinese
Right, so you
developers
had to
where
yeah, have stages. Yeah,
you had to have, okay, we need to
reuse
reuse
stages.
this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And so
reuse
that's why you
stages.
need
Yeah,
that interconnected thing. You need
that's
to
it.
have things hidden in that same area that where you look at it and again, and
It's
that
like
means
butter da ba, and it's now a new thing is there. What?
what it's crazy. They don't even it could have been there the whole time and you just never noticed it.
Yeah,
And so that's why the arcade design is actually superior, and that's why these older games where they're still on this arcade design instead of this like new fast travel bullshit that is illegitimate and fraudulent and not artful.
dude,
But it's
fuck open world too in the same
100%,
way. Like for the
100%.
same reasons. For the same reasons, like, bro, this is a scheme to fund graphics card companies for sure, for sure. At least it was. They don't need it anymore. I mean, they got AI, they're good with that without
Mm-hmm.
it. But like for the time it was, like all of these massive open world games that required like the most insane graphics cards, like $1,500 graphics cards to play
Mm-hmm.
like, Cyberpunk at like a reasonable frame rate for a while. It's like that's like you're
Tell
making
me
a
why
shitty
people are
fucking
not
game.
upgrading their graphics cards, by the way. Like, after the Pascal series, they actually realized that they fucked up because they made such a big leap. They're going, wait, even wants to buy a new graphics card anymore. And they're like
Yeah.
crying. It's like, why is nobody buying a new graphics card anymore? And then you have that the emergence of the indie space and double A space too, where these indie game developers are basically making pixel art games that can be run on, like a fucking shit ThinkPad on
Exactly.
Linux.
That's what's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Exactly right. Yeah, I'm super in the indie train. I don't give a fuck about AAA or anything like that. I mean, there are some AAA games I play, of course, but those
Of
are the
course.
ones that my PC
I mean, I mainly
can
play
run.
Call of Duty. I'm not like standing on a moral high horse about game consumption. I'm just more so saying like I love the
Now
way that
we're
like
playing
indie games are
art.
going that direction. You know what I mean?
We were playing Call of Duty, the actual artful side of it. But anyway, let me talk about this Lordran thing, right? Basically, this sort of question, which is, okay, well, they never did it again. How intentional
Right,
was it?
right,
Are we sort of we're like
right,
fucking
right.
religious
Exactly.
people looking at the human body, thinking, okay, well, it had to be intentional because it's just
For a reason.
so
Yeah, it
beautiful in
was.
terms of what they were able to do. And the Doris thing, it's just how can you have where strats don't even describe what Doris can do. You have like philosophies on how you run the map,
Yeah.
or because of how puzzle PC it is. It's okay, let me just take this
And
puzzle
the
piece
RNG
off.
element of the box luck is like so big too. Of like you have to sometimes play as if you're gonna get good box luck if you want to play really really fast. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you have to be like, nope, I'm just gonna sit. I'm just gonna get the. I'm gonna get the good trade. It's gonna happen. And then if you get it, it's like awesome. If not, you're like, well, fuck, game over
Mm.
anyway. You know?
It's such a, and the dogs come in mid round. I think that's just like the cherry on top in terms of, okay, well, I have the ray
Yeah.
gun, and then and then think about the economy aspect of it in terms of, okay, well, I've got the ray gun, but then I can just like shoot the dog with my galil and then like knife them when they get close for the plus 130. In terms of, there are just so many decisions to make on this map that other maps don't. Like, you can't tell me like when you're watching like Black Ops Strat and then they're going blah 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 with the MP40 and then they have like 16 million points. That's a joke. That's actually a joke from our perspective. But you have this artfulness. It's like they never did this again. They never. Actually, they
So
did.
how
Because
intentional was
Kino,
it? No, you're right. It's a good question.
they did Kino, but then you see them like shift into this, sort of bullshit.
I mean, Wings always said that Ascension was the downfall of zombies. Like he's like it was always gonna be shit after Ascension. Like what he always said. And like I don't know. I don't think like that's so like. I think there's something so fucking fake about that in the sense that like I mean, you can't be seeing Ascension and thinking that that's the downfall of zombies because for so many people, Ascension was like the peak of zombies. You know what I mean? Like it's like the idea that
Nah, people
that's
back in the
the
day
point that
really
you
didn't
could.
like Ascension. From what I understand, is that people, I say really didn't like Ascension, but people were saying about Ascension, and I remember going back on, and this was just like me looking back at comments, but it was Relax Again, and he was saying, "Oh, I don't even like these ports of the World at War maps on BO1. I actually kind of like the lighting and the more gritty lighting of World at War." And
Yeah, true.
and sort of shitting on Ascension was, and I think that was just sort of like because the game is new, but there is this sort of thing where in terms of why is BO2's reputation being lauded, even though that's clearly the end of zombies. Zombies had died as soon as they stopped doing this intrinsic design and the infinite revive system. That's when they stopped, when hardcore arcade design sort of fell out the window and they sort of tried to sort of negotiate this hardcore arcade design and trying to tell a shit story from like
Such a stupid story, bro. Such a stupid story.
Like there's infinite rig toppings in the universe. Wow, so much stakes. This is crazy. Yeah, I can't.
Crazy.
I don't know what you were doing when BO2 came up. I remember getting it from Blockbuster, and yeah, I can afford a brand new game, and so I got it from Blockbuster back in end of 2012 when it came out, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is shit. This is really bad, and I sort of have never. And I'm vindicated.
I started playing at Die Rise. I started playing when Die Rise came out. Like that was my first game, like map that I played like ever. It was like when Die Rise came out.
Okay.
Before that, I played zombies at friends' houses sometimes, but before the Die Rise, I'd never played it.
Oh wow!
Like owned it.
So so you must have had a completely different vision, because for me, it's like I have this whole storyline of discovering all these maps from people that I know IRL. And go into their houses to, connect to the internet to download the maps. I remember going to my mom's friend's house and I brought the Xbox over and I said, I remember playing, it was the Resurrection DLC. I remember downloading it for the first time. I clicked Varrock I had to play Varrock. I needed to see this map where you spawn with thingy. And then I invited my friend over because he played BO1 through me. And so my IRL best friend, I said, look at these other maps I have. And he's saying, what the fuck are these? And we just played the fuck out of these maps, yeah.
I know, dude, yes.
So this is my experience with zombies. It's Kino 5, and then the World of War maps. And then I see the, what do you call it? And then I see BO2 and it's just like this massive transit map with fog everywhere. And it's not this like hardcore sort of escalating stakes. It's sort of, there's so much like preamble. It's actually an open world zombies map. It's a map where it wants to waste your time. It's
open world zombies map, yeah.
And they weren't negotiating. Like that's where the negotiation I think really started. It's very evident in the gameplay in terms of, okay, well, time for you to stop doing this hardcore arcade experience, and it's time for you to now do this like weird setup,
like this setup Easter egg stuff that prioritizes like prepping and like preparing and strategizing and solving and waiting. A lot of waiting. A lot of waiting.
Yeah.
A lot of waiting. Like that was a big deal for me. I was like, a lot of waiting. I was like, too much waiting.
And Kid Me was just completely right on this, that this game is pathetic. It's completely not living up.
You was right on that 100%, yeah.
And that was probably one of my first major disappointments in terms of video games, in terms of, wait, this is not what I expected. This is absolutely
a formative disappointment, yeah.
Oh, exactly, yeah. just seeing how just how could this be in terms of they had everything basically perfect and then they fucked it up, and then get into the high rounds aspect where I just actually I did BO3. I played BO3, but in terms of like, oh, I just go around 100 using the bow, and this was really easy. But then I went, wait, if I really want to do this, I look at BO1 and I look at, I remember it was trade strat. It was like 2017, and I just see Crumpets playing, and I'm going, this is like way cooler sitting down there with like the fucking bow in the corner.
Way
They're
cooler.
actually doing this like intense. They're playing my childhood game, which is like the real zombies, and it's actually is this sick game. Oh, actually, I want to play that. I want to play this like high octane strat of in like a million decisions to make at once. And it was my favorite map. That Doris was always my map. It was always that, and also it's pronounced Dorise, by the way. The Germans told me.
Dorise.
Yeah, Dorise, which sounds really French for some reason, like Dorise. Yeah. I always say Guten Nacht to them. It's like, oh, Guten Nacht, because I know Guten, and so Nacht obviously from
good night, right? That means
yeah. So yeah, it's Nacht on Tilton, yeah. So
that's right.
BO2 was so clearly fraudulent until Mob of the Dead, I think, and it's also really funny because Mob of the Dead is actually a really fucking good map, possibly A tier.
Jason Blundell, right?
Blundell removing carpenters. He said, "Wait, why do we need carpenters in the game? It's like a bloat of a drop cycle." Yeah,
genius moment by
exactly.
Jason Blundell.
Maybe we don't.
And like the stakes are so low. Like the bar is so low for the genius moment from these devs. Like I'm giving him credit for getting rid of carpenters. Like God, like why was carpenters?
How about fire sales?
Like God, the fuck is the fire sales should not. The fire sales should be something that like. I don't know. The fire sales I like in co-op kind of. I think don't make sense in solo.
I like fire cells in terms of I can remove them, as in carpenters have this like push and pull effect, where I can negotiate their existence in the game in a way that I can't negotiate fire cells. Once they're in the game, they're in the game. If I let down a box weapon or 2 or 3, then then that's how the game should work.
That's what I'm saying. I think the fire sales shouldn't be in solo. I don't think they make sense in solo. I think like if you were to ask, like I think for competitive players, like back in the day, it would have been sick. I think to kind of get rid of fire sales in solo, for so many reasons. Like just that would solve a lot of like restart related problems that I do think are like annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny how Doris is also the best map.
I think it makes sense though. Think about it. Co-op, it makes sense. Yeah, Doris, that's not a good example. No fire sales.
Yeah, no fire cells. The Wolf isn't guaranteed. That's actually disabled, but the ray gun's guaranteed. The monkeys are basically guaranteed. Yeah, that's how is that not? That map was made to be the best map.
Standard. It was the best map of all time.
Yeah.
It sucks that was the peak though. It does suck that was the peak though.
And it's funny because Kino was just riding the coattails of Doris in terms of okay, well we want to make a map that has crazy flow, but the flow isn't as good. Actually, I like how
no, flow's not as good.
Yeah, the flow isn't as good. I like Novas. I like the in terms of there is this different zombie type. That's a good thing that they kept from Doris in terms of but it's not the same thing as dogs in terms of these are something that they go faster.
I like how it's different. I'm fine with Novas. I think Novas are fine.
Yeah, you can jump over them, and so it changes how you trade, but also the traps because 25-25 is Doris and Kino is what 40-60.
For the trail.
Yeah, and so that already just in this, like imagine how that changes Doris when you have 40-60, right? So it creates it's not the same. You're not using the same calculations in terms of okay, well I just go to this part of the map and then I exit this part of the map and then the other trap is going to be ready. It's actually not going to be ready on Kino, and so you have to change
like, wait
the
it
way
out,
you play.
Tactically. Yeah, you have to be like strategic of like how you drift into certain places and zones.
And that's it's cool.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, think about all of the ways that we might have been fucking up these strategies by looking in suboptimal directions. Like, not like Kino, but I'm saying on like other maps. Just like think about all the maps where looking influences spawns. I think it does on Doris. Like, that's a thing in Doris first rooms. Like, looking does influence where they spawn. So
wait,
I'm like,
what?
Okay. Yeah.
I did not know this. Explain.
Yeah, that's like a thing I've seen in these videos of like the optimal way to play like the Doris first room. Like, Um,
You mean like for fast times or for
yeah, or like the consistent way. Like watch this, like this video. He like explains like how to play like, and yeah, like he shows like, you know, the where you look influences stuff. Like, wait, I gotta get something real quick. I'll be right back.
wait, hold on, I need to get a drink too.
Okay, I'm back. But isn't this wild?
All right, so I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, let me set up the most normal my possible. That's very fine. How to play the fast room. Make sure to increase your voice volume. Okay. Moving the cursor helps determine where the zombies spawn. This only has 224 views. What the fuck? At least one. Oh, I need the Gewehr spawn. That's the most important one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because I want the 600. Making that cost 600 is such a ugly
Such
thing.
a cheeky thing.
Mm-hmm. On BO1, they just the BO1. Do you know? Do you notice how the BO1 weapons are just so much more inferior?
How so? I like the fact that you can buy the ammo off the wall and it like loads your pistol.
No,
Or loads
obviously,
your
yeah, obviously, I'm about the BO1 guns on the wall that exist on the BO1 maps are so much worse than the wall-to-wall guns that exist on the BO1 maps. So like the Thompson is so much better than the MPL in terms of the ammo it has.
Absolutely, yeah.
And why? Because BO1 is clearly an outlier in terms of how bad the wall weapons are. The only boon it has is, oh, you get sprint weapons. You have multiple sprint weapons.
I guess the AK-74U is pretty good.
Oh, that's the worst one, I would say.
The AK-74U, isn't that one pretty? Is that one okay? Or no?
I'd say that's the worst. No, I think that's the worst one because it's not even a sprint weapon, but it has the same ammo issues because I think it's 2120. But why do they have such little ammo in terms of FG's like 192, 200 for the Thompson, STG has a lot too, MP40 has 192 I think, but then the MPL is like what, like 120 or something. Same with the AK. Same
with the AK does have 120. Right, you're right.
Yeah, this is insane. But why?
Yeah,
why such?
Same with M5, yeah, that's really bad. I don't get that either. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And then why is the MP40 on the wall? Just out of all the wall-to-wall ones that they could put in, not the Thompson. I hate the MP40. It's not a good gun at all, and it's just such a boon that Thompson room is the Thompson room and not the MP40. Because that'd be really
pure luck,
sad.
pure luck.
Oh yeah, that map is just coincidentally just the best map of all time. Just
so lucky.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's on it just because of the setup alone, just everything that you know, fire cells. It's just so clearly on a class of its own. It's always has been, always will be in my mind too. It's not even a nostalgia thing. I just like it for different reasons than I did as a kid. As a kid, it was just I know how to play the map. It
No.
contains the most interesting things. Um, it's like the perfect balance between okay, there's a little bit of preamble, but I don't have to negotiate waiting 10 million
Right.
years for building all this
To get the
bullshit
game
around the
started,
map.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
Though there is
Or like
one.
the game doesn't feel like it takes forever to fucking play. You actually enjoy playing it,
Mhm. Though I guess one point in long setups is that I do like the mother then setup. I think there is a lot of I think there's a lot of skill to playing fast while also doing things that are not killing zombies. And so you
Yeah.
have to somehow negotiate. It's fun for a high round player to do that, I think, because there is
Yeah.
something really difficult about that. But transit is just not that at all. It is just,
No,
that,
at all. It's so
exactly.
boring.
And I don't even know if you need to even play fast on that map, just with how it works. But on seeing Chris set up and seeing, okay, well, these are all the ways that he's able to kill zombies, and then he's like
Yeah.
nading himself to kill himself early. This is really that's a
Psycho.
cool way. Yeah, this
It's
is
totally insane. It's crazy to do, but he's crazy.
yeah, and I think that's cool. I like
That's badass. Yeah.
I like watching a skilled player having to sort of go through the contradictions of zombies and actually make them work in terms of yeah, I'm doing bullshit while also playing
Yeah,
the
it's
game
so
of
awesome.
actually killing the zombies. Well, that's cool. I like that. That's a cool
And I
sort
win.
of side effect. Yeah, and we win for having a more sort of intense, mechanically intense setup. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And so that can exist alongside, I don't mind Origins setup now that I know that it's actually a skill expression to be able to remember all the
Yeah,
steps
yeah.
while also going around
Prioritizing
the
certain things and timing things and getting certain RNG and all that. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. There's actually a skill expression in that. Zetsubo no Shima is also another really cool
But
setup
the
to watch.
problem was is that like I think we
It's a
still
casual
have
problem.
these YouTubers among us that are like
Mhm.
dangerous
They're
in
not
this
among
way
us.
because
They're not.
they are they
They're nowhere
are
near me.
in the wastelands of the newer games. They are in the
Mhm.
wastelands of whatever BO7 is. That's where they are. But those YouTubers at some level should be called out by some people for their crimes. They should be trials should be held.
Mhm.
They should be brought in front of a judge. They should be sentenced to death or castration. It's on them. So they can decide that.
Mhm.
Um,
I wonder if there are other
but no,
communities
I
that
mean, I don't know.
exist.
I actually do think it's their fault, though. I think they dragged the game in the wrong direction. They evaluated the game on the wrong metrics of like what
Mhm.
made it
Because
good,
they weren't
like
good enough.
what made a map good. They like judged on like Easter egg complexity and like weird metrics of how hyped the story was and like
Mhm.
how cool different effects were. And like, I think like that is like fundamentally bad game feedback and like not representative of the community. And so I think they did like a fundamental disservice to whatever extent they were listened to in terms of communicating what the community wanted from a game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. They can put. I wonder if there are other communities that exist where the content creators are at such odds with the actual players of the game. Because in fighting games, it's like I really like the content creators in the space. I think there's some weird consciousness when it comes to fighting games in terms of the players the people that come to an event absolutely understand it on a mechanical level, and so we're associating based on it's like, oh, I love Xiao Hai because he plays KOF, and I was playing Mai in Street Fighter, which is a KOF character, as a crossover that they did with SNK, Capcom, the makers of Street Fighter, and they've partnered with them historically, and so it's really cool to see Xiao Hai, considered the god of KOF, be doing well on Street Fighter. It's like I love KOF. I want to support this guy, and so it's on an affiliate. We affiliate based on it on a completely different metric instead of he's from the same country and ethnicity as me, and so it's really hype. It's like I mechanically understand the game to some level, and I'm seeing the mechanical expression of these different characters, and I can notice the difference between Daigo playing Evil Ryu versus, another, Xiao Hai played Evil Ryu in SF4. I can see the difference. Like, Daigo it was just art seeing him play. The things that he was doing is just not other. No other people were doing the things that he was doing on the game because the game was difficult. And so people understand that. Like, people are screaming. So there's this one Daigo moment I told you about where it's where he parries all of Chun-Li's kicks, and it
Right.
was just not considered possible at the time, right? And so he thinks outside the box, and he was like considering quitting fighting games at the time. And this is the most popular clip of fighting games. It's what he did here, and it's just a crowd screaming, doing the parries, and then he reaches right as he's about to parry the last move. He jumps because the kick is delayed, so he jumps. He jump parries it, and so being in the air means that you can do a jump in, which is an extension of the combo. And so he jump parries, and then does a jump in. So now he's doing 3 hits instead of 2.
Right.
And then that builds enough meter for the super. So after those 3 hits, he can go into the super. He can combo into the super, which won him the round.
Oh shit!
And so so they're already screaming. This is like really loud screaming when he's doing the parries. As soon as he jump parried, I think the crowd started screaming higher because they understood what just happened when he jumped.
Right.
This was not a spontaneous event that happened. It was a telegraph. This is something that's clearly being practiced, and this is the optimal way to do what the fuck he's doing.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible.
And so the whole crowd noticing that, and they did an interview with Daigo, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, I practiced this." It's like, of course you like we knew from the gameplay. We saw from the gameplay that there's no way this was a spontaneous thing that happened.
No.
And so this is.
But that foresight is incredible, right? To like have that foresight of like what you need to practice on that level.
Oh, exactly. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that we as players can know what is practice and what is not, because we have the mechanical understanding of the game, and we sort of we know the game that we're watching, right? And I think there's something so beautiful in sort of these like online communities where we're not associating with it's like, oh, the Olympics isn't political. Like if I was Kurdish or Taiwanese, I can't even play under the flag, and it's like the World Cup, by the way. The World Cup, you mean the football World Cup, where you don't with tennis, right? It's like, oh, they'll have the majors, and then it's like men and women, right? Like both people represent. Like the World Cup is just like men running around. Right? It's not. Yeah. It's not.
And there's like a separate female World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, right, and it's not along like no one that people call it the female World Cup. It's not the World Cup where everyone participates in.
Like what?
Yeah, exactly right, and it's all segregated based on the countries that you're affiliated with. So it's clearly on national. So it's like a very political sort of like reinforcing the sort of like national consciousness. Or like this what do you call it? This like political philosophy. And that's just so, and then people start rooting for their teams based on country affiliation, not based on like the mechanical understanding of the game. Like they probably don't know. They're just like, oh, that was a crazy kick, but they don't know like in terms of like people know how human bodies move, and so something looks crazy, but it's not on the level of, oh wow, that was like really crazy. Like they don't. These are not the public conversations of football, and so. There is something really nice. I don't even know why I started talking about this. Oh, I was talking about the fight that we have in zombies in terms of the content creators that exist.
Yeah.
And in fighting games, that in terms of the YouTubers, like people will, talk about YouTubers in terms like that these guys are making stuff content, but generally like really positive views in terms of like Justin Wong, where he stopped being a competitor and he's re-streaming like shitty arcade games. He gave them their his stream key so they could stream these old school games, and he constantly supports these old school games. So he's the other player on the other side of Daigo parry, where he's the one that's getting completely parried, and so this guy is, he's like setting them up for the Daigo parry. It's like, oh, can you hit that? There's no way you can hit the Daigo parry. He's like super supporting, like the old school games that still exist. And so there's just like a crazy goodwill with, I think, in comparison to zombies, it's like crazy goodwill in terms of
the fighting games towards content creators.
Exactly. And just the community as a whole.
I guess is it because it's so meritocratic in terms of to get to be a big content creator, you had to be like a top competitive player. Like, I think that's part of it is like, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd definitely say it's way more meritocratic in terms of skill. Definitely does the talking. You're not some random player that it's like, oh, I've never done anything, and then like no one gives a fuck. It's very much
right,
and that's how support works in terms of.
The thing in zombies is like it's just literally like if you have a big sub count. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you're British, you have a disproportionate influence in zombies and like discussion around it.
Yeah.
It's not just him though. It's like I don't know.
Mr.
It's
Donald
Watson
JD
though.
that plagiarizes essays. Yeah,
Yeah,
these
that guy.
yeah, these people.
There's also
Yeah,
yeah,
what you saying?
also like MC kind of is kind of the like he's always playing the new thing, you know? Like I think there's a very big British presence in zombies actually.
That's kind of fucked up
Um
now. Steve,
not in
Steve's
a
the other one.
negative not in a
Yeah,
negative way,
yeah.
but I
This
think
is
Steve is very powerful. Like I think
mhm.
Steve's very powerful. But I would say but like also like the American influence is like it's insane. Like
Like
Noah
disproportionate.
J is yeah, no, it's insane. Like Noah J and that whole clique, like Lexified, all them, like the
Hmm.
corporate cog creators, like they are just like random people. Like it's like that's like what I'm saying with like it makes sense that the fighting games is less insane and more like there's goodwill towards them because like in our community it's literally just random guys that are like
Hmm.
let me just talk about this thing that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like,
Hmm.
and just they are the first to make the content, so they just win.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fucked up. Relax and then should have
You
just
know, but
started
they're
speaking.
literally just random guys. They're
Mhm.
literally just some dudes.
What's their highest round?
They're no one. They're literally no one. Like
Mhm.
they have no credibility in any way. And they never have, and that's what's always driven me mad is like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah, that's, to
Like,
me,
who
that's
the
insane.
fuck are these guys decoding the scribbles that you have to like zoom in
Mhm.
on Origins to see? Like,
Mr.
it's
Ruffle Waffles
so
actually sounds
crazy.
insane too. That's a crazy thing. That guy
Dude,
might be
it
insane.
sounds schizophrenic when you describe the type of things that they're talking about, the
Let's get the
super Easter
whiteboard
egg. It's
out.
like, dude, let's get the whiteboard out, but it's like, yeah, like it's the like order of the books, like on that have been like hard coded into
I'd rather have
Derides and Drock,
Phoenix.
or like
Like,
some have meaning.
I'd rather have like Phoenix on the whiteboard talking about like the fucking code behind the
Same.
game, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
this is the master spawner and shit. This is like the bug cycle. This is like all these like esoteric
I love
things that we
that.
don't consider. It's
I
like,
love
oh
that.
wow, these are actually like actionable things that we can. This is not just like, oh, I learned this once. Like, oh, that's kind of cool,
Some
right?
bullshit.
These
It's not just some bullshit, dude. Like
right.
so much Easter egg stuff is just actually some bullshit. Like
Oh, this is
it's
like a skin kit. It's the equivalent of like a skincare routine. Who knows how?
dude, it literally is. It's like you're talking about something so small and so insignificant. It's so like, oh, did you hear the way he said stand up? Oh, it's like, whoa, the profound meaning behind that radio is like so deep actually. And like it's all YouTube slop content that's just advertising for the game. And it's like, I don't know. I think that's part of why there should be such bad will towards the content creators at the top in zombies
Yeah,
because
some of these players were
they're
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Even Wings Wings was a big hater of the
was a big
content
hater,
creators. Yeah.
which I like. That's what I liked about him.
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah.
his hatred.
Mhm. Everyone hated these guys, which is funny.
Yeah,
The whole community was just
because they're just
collectively
some
correct.
dudes. They just suck. They're just like random people. Like extra, like I don't know, just people like just show up and appoint themselves like spokespeople for communities.
Mm. Yeah.
Like
I
Syndicate was literally a cheater, and he was like the representative of zombies community
mhm.
forever.
Think about this too.
It's so sad.
What you call it? The Man, we should. If Yoti Slayer didn't die, like we would have actually had a good. At least Yoti
Dude,
Slayer like played out.
if I could have gone back in time and done one thing, I would have saved Yodi Slayer that night.
You would have saved us, man.
I would have saved him that night.
I remember when I found out he died because I was a big watcher of him.
I was
And
too.
yeah, I was shocked.
Cryptic
It was
Novas.
this
I
Finley
watched the
kid.
kids. Dude, I was fiending too as a kid. Like I was freaking out about that. I was like so depressed. I remember watching Cryptic Novas give their kid, like give not their kid, but like Brian Yodi Slayer's kid
Mhm.
a scuff controller that
What?
Scuff had sent them being like, sorry your dad died. Here's a
Wow.
scum controller. I literally remember
Jesus.
that. It was so crazy. Everyone watched that being like, oh my god, what? Like
What
that's
the
crazy.
fuck?
But I remember also being like, damn, that sucks. And I also remember there being some sort of like controversy over Frenzy, like, or someone else, I think it was Araka, maybe, like I think someone claimed to have like, damn dude, me and Yodi were like tight. And someone else like, dude, there was like, you guys are not tight at all. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I forget exactly who it was. I feel so bad that I do right now. Like who exactly it was is the most important part of the story. But that was
Do you
also a
remember
totally
when
funny.
people were appointing themselves ambassadors of talking about Yoti Slayer? Like I remember Syndicate was saying like, "Yeah, I knew this guy."
Yeah,
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I do.
That
I
was
do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah, that was kind of weird.
that was so sad. That was so sad. That made me so
Monetizing
sad.
this guy's death.
Dude, I know they're monetizing his death, but like I saw that happen so much going forward. Like that's such a common thing that like I realized like honestly, if he had died, if he had been as big as he was now for like another game, if he had died, he would have had a way more monetized death. I think his death would have been monetized way more. Like that's what I would say. I would say that it's interesting to think back. Like I think his death was monetized less than you expect. I think there was like one GoFundMe, and I think Scuff sent over like a controller. Like, that's what I remember. Like I think they could have monetized it a lot more, honestly.
this is this is fucking. He has a scuff controller, kid. That's the best PR you could have ever do too, because the kid's
Dude, it's
like,
like
you know
here you
what? That's not
go.
bad.
Here you go, kid. I know it's gonna. I know you're gonna be playing a lot of games and trying to not think about your dead dad. So you make sure while you're
Yeah.
playing, make sure you're playing on a scuff gaming controller, baby. You got
Mm-hmm.
the paddle sticks at the bottom. You got the trigger stoppers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the control freaks, the
You
little
got the
things
control
that you
freaks on the
put
top.
over. Yeah, it's like that's really funny. Yeah, he would have saved zombies. He was actually a high round player, and he was,
He would have
as far
saved
as I
us.
know,
He would have literally saved us.
yeah, he was not a fraud like Syndicate, like Mr. Nardic JD. This guy was an actual
Nope.
fully,
A
yeah.
lot of liars, dude. Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
up with that?
No, yeah, because these guys wanted to, be ambassadors or at least known in the community. And so they did what you actually had to do back then, which was be good at the game. And so they can do that. But then when it was, oh, we can talk about Easter egg or
Before
use like
relaxing
fucking
ended.
power vacuum and rounds. No, so yeah, power vacuum plus round skip. Like, what? Why is that in the game? What the fuck? Why is that in the game, by the way? And actually ruined zombies. Now arguing about BO3 players who were saying it's like, oh, you don't have to use them. Like, what the fuck do you mean you don't have to use them? You're not using them because BO1 set a fucking standard for how the game should actually be. Like you should be fucking on your fucking knees to BO1. It was actually really World at War that set the standard of this is how the game is meant to be played. This is what the game looks like. This is what the um hardcore game looks like, and you're now imitating that. Why? Because
Yeah.
you understand that this is the real game. This is the mechanically interesting game, and so think about it. Think about it like this, right? In terms of now, because I'm experienced from Minecraft days, I know in terms of okay, well, there's this old version of the game we play called 1.7, and
Okay.
because the new version now we're in like 1.22 or something. I don't even know. Um, so just imagine, right? So past 1.9, 1.8 is controversial. But 1.9 they changed the combat completely. So
Okay.
they're basically it's like probably now has a lot of players that play it and have discovered things to make it cool. But it's different from what we were playing before, and so we didn't like it. But it's like sufficiently different that you're not playing the same game. It's like a completely fucking different game, and
Sure.
so
Sure.
we have the old players that eventually have to get jobs and go university. They're playing less or not stop playing, and then there are no more new players, or at least at a way lower frequency because all the
Yeah.
big YouTubers
No new
of
inflow. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so this is what I'm talking about. Why round robin is such a problem, which is you can't have the game on a casual level look like that, and then people want to play high rounds. You can't go, oh, I'm just gonna round skip and then it ends at 255. That's not a
Yeah.
legitimate
Yeah.
experience. Or I'm getting a drop
No, it's
a
not.
million times, right? This is a
No.
game that doesn't
Bullshit.
expect
Ammo
excellence.
crates. Ammo crates. Go fuck yourself, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ammo crates. What's the point of having the max ammo? Like, what's the
Exactly.
point?
Mm-hmm.
Ammo crates better be literally every
Never.
single one of your points. Like
Oh,
you
there's
should
like the
be able
whole
if
economy.
they exist, if they should exist, it would have to be that you have to spend all of your points
Every single
and you
one.
can only do it once. And like the minimum threshold is like 250,000 points.
Oh yeah,
It would
100%.
have to be something insane like that, like something
Mm-hmm.
crazy last resort, Like, so you have to really treat it with respect. Like the just sheer disrespect they had for the ammo economy in later games is just it just shows that they're not
The
they were
down
never serious.
economy, the ammo economy, the points economy. That point's correct in World at War. Look at the World at War maps of
Yeah,
Verakt, Shinonuma, um, Darice, Kino der Toten, just
basically.
like as soon as traps were existed, you had these like
Good
hardcore
points.
economy maps where you have to
Yep.
like where you have to play years before you even know how to, or like it was years, not like play years, but it was years before.
Like that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, how to actually run these
that's right. It
strats
just kept coming
economy.
back. It just kept coming back, being like,
Mhm,
no, there is a chance you can do it economically. You can. You
mhm,
can.
mhm. Exactly. So the fact that these what do you call it? That these maps were um those maps are just the best maps. That just that those series of maps are just so
Unquestionably.
yeah. It just the but it's BO1 why they're good. It's not World at War why they're good. It's the Reese mechanics exported to every single map. Those are the best sports
Yeah.
of all time, right? And think about this, right? Because do you remember the excuses that people made about BO4? Where BO4 comes out, right? And they're going, well, it's really glitchy because they have 4 maps. And I've never had 4 maps. I'm thinking, wait, BO1 had 6
Wait,
plus
what?
Dead Ops Arcade. Yeah, this is crazy. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. The YouTubers don't know what they're talking about because
At
BO1 had
all.
6. BO1 had
Like
6
what?
maps. Wait, no, sorry. BO1 had 6, and you can't say, well, they were just ports, they're almost the same. Like with the, the Reese mechanics exported everywhere from a glitchy mess that World at War was, where you can't even stay in the first room about, like, the zombies, like, running
Yep.
to the other room, even though you're playing the solo game, to a fucking, like, perfectly working video game. I'm sorry, nah. That is, they were,
We demand better. We
oh,
can't settle. Come on.
the game works on launch, and then on DOA I can get my console movement speed. How is that not the sickest, best
Yeah.
released game ever? And then think about it like this, right? Once I realized that the game came out with all these maps with the hardened edition, I was thinking, oh, so the Resurrection DLC kind of like fucked over the multiplayer because they already had these maps here that existed, and then they just released them. And then you're thinking, oh, that's so bullshit. But then they put this is actually the best DLC, and you'll be thinking, why?
Uh-huh.
They just put Moon in the thing, and
No.
because they could have released the maps in a different DLC. You could just put them separate, like Nuketown on BO2, right? On Nuketown was just something that you could just buy separately, so they could have made these maps
The hard
separately,
edition, yeah.
right? And so think about what it changed on every single map with the Resurrection DLC. It was Mule Kick. It was Mule Kick on every single map, which is like the most custom
That's the
zombie
beauty.
shit ever.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It was so random. Like, think about it. It's like, why not PhD? Why not Deadshot? They
Right.
put Mule Kick on every single map, even like
It was so
Knobs,
smart.
which is the identity. It's like beyond smart. It's just it like wraps around where it's just it doesn't even make any. It's just so nonsensical, and it's just the foundation of why BO1 is like the best game ever in terms of
Right.
imagine like playing Ascension or Darice where you don't have like Raygun and Sally's at the
Oh my
same
God.
time.
Oh my God.
It just doesn't even
Oh my
make
God.
any sense. It's clearly the second best perk in the game other than Jug, that it's so good that you can remove it when you don't need it. That's how good that perk is. It's so good on how it worked. It's so good.
Yeah, you can get rid of it if you want to play in a certain mode. If you want to save the entity, yeah, exactly.
Which is like, you see how it's like beyond
Insane.
smart?
That's such a cherry on top.
Yeah.
I don't think that was planned though. I don't think that
So
part was planned.
obviously
I think
wasn't.
it so obviously wasn't. I think the I do think that the choice to put Mule Kick on every map was very genius. Even though as a kid I was very confused as to what Mule Kick did, and I thought it,
The
and I was
free
like,
guns
dude, what
didn't
is
tell you?
it doing? I saved up 4K, and I was like, dude, what is it doing?
Oh yeah, it's like the most
thought,
expensive perk.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, it must be fucking good, whatever this is.
Uh-huh. Oh, it must be good. Oh, it's the second best perk in the game. Like hands down, there is no.
But
Yeah.
I mean, but I was thinking like, oh man, like why isn't it doing anything? I was just literally retarded.
There were these twins that called it the 3 guns glitch. It was so like, oh, there's the 3 guns glitch about the PM63. I'm like, where's the PM63? My TV, I couldn't even see it on my TV. I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Like, there's a gun there? because I always went AK side, and so
Right, right, yeah.
when I wrapped around, I wasn't facing
Another
the
shitty
PM63.
BO1 gun weapon, like wall
Uh,
weapon. The
uh,
PM63 is so shit, right?
yeah, no, yeah, it's
God, when
awful.
you think
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, you should like think about like Thompson STGFG.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I'm just that's another example. I'm just noticing it. Yeah.
Stakeout,
Yeah, stakeout. Yeah, God, oh
which
my
is
God.
way worse than the trench gun.
So
Which is
much.
it's so shitty, but like pump canceling
Yeah,
that with the dogs, yeah, that's fun.
it's fun.
But
Fast trench. Yeah.
last stretch, yeah. I can't believe the just how magical BO1 just ended up being in terms of like it works perfectly. DOA is just
It
like
works so
random.
perfectly.
The entity saving. Like, why is that game just? It's like they had to luck
So
themselves
perfect.
into making the best game. Um,
Yeah.
really. Because they couldn't do it intentionally. But imagine if they understood why BO1 was such a good game on a mechanical level, and then went, "Oh wow, we don't have
We
these
can do
shit
that.
ambassadors, but we have, real players that understand the game and that are saying, oh, these things are actually really important. It's actually really cool. And so they make an actual game that has the intellectual rigor that BL1 had, which we actually didn't. It was just completely locked on finding all these
Yeah, I
things.
did exactly.
But it'd be
Well, I
cool
think
if.
I think they I think they just literally couldn't because I think they couldn't as a company lock themselves into commitments around zombies because they always try to kind of treat zombies as like the like the stepchild or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like the
It's just like a
like
reused
redheaded
assets.
stepchild. Yeah, reuse assets and like it was always like what's cool about zombies is how cheap it is to make. I
Hmm.
think was part of it. So I think like that's always been its appeal. So they never wanted to kind of come out and be like, we promise a certain type and or quality of like zombies experience because and like you saw with BO4, like they knew it was possible they'd have to like sacrifice elements of it for other parts of the game if like some engine stuff got fucked up. Like
Hmm.
that's what happened. I think they knew they couldn't like make those commitments, if that makes sense.
Hmm. I like there being limitations. Because I think limitations breed. It's
Oh, of
like the
course, yeah.
arcade design, yeah. But the limitations when multiplayer starts moving into a realm where you have like fucking jetpacks and shit, so now you're wall running and zombies. Luckily that they barely implemented that, but then
Oh
oh,
my
we have
god.
like no chug in BO4 because weird health system things and like bullets being because they have war zones, so they have the actual
Yep.
entities, and so or imagine playing economy maps and then you're shooting a bunch of these bullets that
Oh my
will
god,
just
too.
end up
People
airing
use
you.
rocket launchers like
Oh, what? It's just it, yeah, BO4, but BO4
cancer.
is BO4 is nonsense, not because of that. It's not like there's a good game under the hood. It's a game that's like
No.
complete nonsense in terms of like,
Total
okay, we're just gonna
nonsense.
add a bunch of guns to the box. Why is there 100 guns in the box? I don't know. I don't know why who thought this was a good idea. Because in Barry they
Right.
understood. They were gonna like, okay, we only have like 12 guns in the box. We're just gonna have like all the relevant cool guns that so why didn't they think of that earlier? Why didn't they
Right,
do
yeah.
that earlier in terms of we just have like a China Lake and an M72 law? Like you only need one. You don't need both in the box. It's just
Yeah.
wasting everyone's fucking
It's such a waste
time.
of time. It's such a waste of time, especially in the later rounds. Like that's one thing I like theoretically about the kind of like perk system is like you can just kind of have a box enhancement. So you're
Hmm.
just kind of skipping over a little of the bullshit that the box introduces, especially on maps like that, where it's like, yeah, like dude, come on, like you're wasting your time with the China like the Dragon off and like the like and the M72 law and like all this shit.
Well, so do you notice how the guns on BL1 just feel? I mean, they feel really like hardcore, but also just they're just shit. In terms of like BL2, you're just having crazy fun. Imagine playing Origins, you get like the Scorpion Evo, Scar, and all
Yeah,
these like
those guns are so sick.
monster. Yeah, you're getting these monster weapons that even the what's the I know the nade launcher is the War Machine, but there's the which is a sick name by the way. But what's the
It's so sick.
RPG? The RPG is
RPG.
way quicker than the fucking M72 lore, I think.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
the snipers are just way better too. Just fucking they're great. Like
The
getting
hammer
the
is sick.
DSR. Oh yeah. Well, the what do you call it?
The LNG
The LMGs are
versus the
fine in
HK.
BO1, but the HK is quite slow. That's quite a problem to use. In comparison to RPK is really good. I like the RPK, but imagine the
I will say the
RP.
only thing HK is good for is that like if you camp up top on Ascension on insta kills, like
Mhm.
in the power, you
Mhm.
can actually use the fact that it's slow to get a lot of collats, and like you can camp there for a long time in terms of getting a lot of
Oh, like
kills
people do
without
that?
like, yeah, like that's the thing I've seen people do.
Oh wow.
So like there is some benefit a little bit sometimes for it being slow, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like a very specific scenario where that's true.
That's really cool. I like that. No, I really like that. That's really cool. And there is no DT on that map too, which is kind of weird. They just
No,
removed DT, the worst
exactly.
perk in the game. Um, and then they added
Worst
an
perk in the
even
game,
worse perk.
absolutely.
Well, it's actually Deadshot, but
I don't even think
Headshot's
about
the
that
worst
perk.
perk.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, no one thinks about that bug. They added it after Ascension, so it was the worst perk in the game at that time. ET. That's a horror. As a kid, I knew that was the worst bug. I always said this is the
No,
worst bug. This doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Mule Kick being that good because as a
so
kid,
good.
everyone said don't buy this because when you down, you lose the guns. I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's really fucking stupid, and that's good. When you down, you should. I love that hardcore element.
I
I
love
think
that
in the
too.
later game,
Yeah,
did in the later games where you just like get when you rebuy it, you just get it back. Or am I going high? I swear I heard somebody say that. If that's the case, that's
yeah,
just
that is the thing in some of them. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, I mean, Tombstone isn't that Tombstone? Like that's what Tombstone is.
it's kind of oh they got really experimental with the perks like who's who where you have to revive
Who's who?
yourself.
I love Who's Who. I actually love Who's Who.
Who's who is a cool concept, but it's just like another QR.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
that's fine.
yeah no to me I think
That
they
should
should
just
just
be QR though.
yeah exactly
That should
yeah
just be
just
QR.
remove QR from the map and then just have
Yeah,
like how
and it should
there
just
is
be
no
Who's Who.
QR
I agree.
on Mob of the Dead. There is no QR because they already
I
have
agree. It
QR,
should just
so
be Who's
who's
Who. That's exactly what I think. I think it should
exactly
just be Who's Who.
yeah
Who's Who? It's so sick.
yeah
Dude,
it's
it
a
would
very
make
good
Die
idea.
Rise so hard. Like it make
Mhm.
it such a hard map. Like for real. You know?
Exactly yeah.
Like I don't know. And yeah, and Die Rise was always a really sick map. Actually, I think that's one of the best design maps that they've ever
Oh,
made.
I agree. Yeah, because that
Yeah.
map is made for strafers in terms of I can just
Oh,
sequence
it's
a break
beautiful.
because there's clearly a flow that they want you to go
Yeah.
by, but then the trample steam breaks it. But then
Yeah. But
the
then the self flinging makes up for the table team.
I just love the strafing
Exactly.
existing. Yeah.
I love that you can I love the falling where you can like fall and bounce off of edges to like to like not get any damage and
Oh,
like
I didn't
just
even know
drop
about
down
this. Oh, I had no idea.
or like or you can like land on your like if someone downs on
Oh
in
yeah,
Die
yeah, I know about
Rise,
this. Yeah,
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 you can fall on them exactly. It's like the same
yeah.
principle, but like there's like a side railing that you can like fall on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this, and that's cool. It's funny because they would try and patch that out, and they don't see the artistry of we're bypassing a really sort of boring, mundane way of traveling throughout the map and making it like
Yeah,
a high skill sort of crackhead. It's like we're just like crazy movement, and you need to be locked in at
I
all
love that
times
you
to be
can
able to.
climb up on elevators like as far as you can. Like that's sick. You could like climb through the fucking ceiling and
Oh yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah,
floors. That's
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
They had no idea about the artistry of but the thing is I remember so people hated on Space Marine at the time because he would just do one window whereas these other people were doing like noodle bar strats that existed with the
Yeah,
Slibrifier. But you know what's fucked up too is that I wish that was a trade map because being required to
so
run
true.
around the whole map is actually way cooler of a concept
Way cooler.
than um
Camping
sitting
the
in
whole
one
time.
room
Yeah,
and
so much
trample
cooler.
steaming. Yeah, I don't.
And it would have been a trade map too, but they fucked it.
Yeah, if the trample steam wasn't on the map, the map would be a. Well, they fucked it also for the other reasons that they Oh, do you remember when people quoting a developer where apparently a developer said, "Oh, that was a glitch," which is funny because it just shows that they're not on the same page. Because why would they? Why would they be? But
What is
also,
a glitch?
it's really it wasn't a glitch. It not
Yeah,
killing past
what?
100 is something that's in the code explicitly written. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
exactly. Yeah, it's not a glitch. What are you talking about?
this is crazy. And yeah, that really sucks. But also, them having just really actually yeah no it'd be really cool and I like the locations of Die Rise because people say the shaft is really boring because you just kind of sit there in a corner. Oh no, it if you speed run it basically what you need to do
Yeah,
is create two chains and so you need to stand outside you're not in that sloped room, you're actually managing two chains but because you're outside you're slipping. You can't just shoot it in one spot and so you're slipping. You're actually slipping
yeah,
around
exactly.
and sometimes being flung into the zombies and that is one of the most like it looks like nothing is happening, but it's
That
like the
room of
most.
doom is so sick.
What would you say?
You know, and what do you think about the room of doom, where it's like that, like you keep that couch
Oh
closed
yeah,
that
yeah.
connects
Oh
to the
yeah, yeah.
trample
The
scene?
Who's Who speed color
Yeah,
place.
the
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
who that one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. The Who's Who room is
That
crazy.
one's
That's a cool
sick. When
strat
people
because it's
when I see people play that, it's so sick. Whenever I saw that, I was like, "This is sick." When they're like going between the windows, dealing with the ground spawn, they're fucking chaining them together,
yeah,
like to get them what, like bringing the ones from the ground spawn, making
yeah.
those
Just
explode
imagine,
into the window, bringing it back to the ground spawn like it was so sick.
yeah. Just imagine that was the strat of the maybe on a reimagine or something that's the actual strat. So you're
Yeah,
now implementing trading around the map. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, that's probably there are probably even better ways to trade than I figured out.
Yeah, that
Actually,
we even
most
that you
definitely.
even thought of. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There are probably way better ways, but we haven't thought of.
100%. But managing the lifts, um, finding a
Yeah,
consistent way
hard.
to manage the lift, that I did it. Like getting to the noodle bar every time, because that was the thing. It's like, oh, you can't trade mid round because you can't get up onto the QR lift. I'm going watch me,
Watch me.
watch me. And so because the timings were off, and so what I tried to do is I
Yeah,
tried to basically set it up so I hit all the timings that the lift goes up, and I have a contingency if you fuck up. So yeah, I have a way to transition to that box. I know how to do it every time.
you can
And
transition every time.
yeah, and so yeah, that that's really I like how a map is that difficult to traverse. And I probably
Yes,
someone
yes.
probably like figured out it's like, oh, you can actually like somehow magically strafe through like a tiny corner like 276 FPS or something. And probably people have probably found some crazy shit now. Um but you actually they probably haven't, just because you don't need to find these things out on the map. The only people that would actually find these are like the strafers that just want to do cool movement courses, and then inadvertently found like really cool ways to actually trade mid round. That's not even a useful
Yeah,
thing to do. Yeah, that's fucked up. I fucked up that map. With it's not killing past 100 because doing those and that's such an overreaction too. They
it's so
overreacted.
tragic. It's so tragic. They killed such potential by being like, because a lot of it was just the Galvin Knuckles video. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's
that's an
it.
example, unfortunately, of a relaxing at L there. You gotta say, like, that was him. Like, him making that video, blowing it up, like, that was the PR. That's what killed it.
But
It's
the
sad.
thing is, I wouldn't have
It's not his
wanted
fault.
the
It's not his
Galvin
fault.
Knuckles being
No, I
the
wouldn't want
strat.
that either. That needed to be fixed, but the
Hmm.
overreaction of the patching of the single power was the problem.
Yeah, that's they they lost their fucking minds. These devs are really stupid too. They're just bumbling their way into just how lucky we've got with BO1. They couldn't do it with
Oh,
BO2.
yeah, I gotta find that. Let me find the Jason Blundell, Doris commentary. Um,
Last
yeah,
video
I
of the
think you'll fuck with
year.
it. I think you'll fuck with it a little bit.
Okay.
But I gotta go. I just
Okay.
got a phone call. I gotta call someone back. I will talk to you later. But yes, I think you'll fuck with some of this. Just to say, it's like actually kind of good. So, all right.
JC
I,
backfire. This is the guy. But yeah, see ya.
yes. All right. Talk,
Yeah.